So I was talking to Carrie and Eddie, right? And they were like, "Yo, Arnold, we're just gonna spoil the ending of RWBY, like the series as a whole." And I was like, "Yo, don't tell me that." So, yeah, I just spent the last 19 hours telling you guys how RWBY ends. RWBY does that crazy thing with her silver eyes. Summer Rose comes back from the dead, does some crazy ass shit. Like, I didn't believe it either, but you know, I clearly told you guys. Jean fell out of the back of the wagon, hit his head. R.I.P. to the boy. So yeah, I just want to get back on track because I feel like this is the longest live stream thus far, and the last thing I would want is for something like my internet service provider to mess up my stream and mess with my functionality to where I would have to, of course, do a part 2. So I don't want that to happen. So yeah, crazy stuff, man. We all know how RWBY is gonna end. That was supposed to be kept between me and the writers, but I love you guys. You know, I love you, chat. So just don't tell anybody what you heard here today. I agree. I feel bad about Jean, man. Fell out of the back of the wagon, wasn't wearing his seatbelt, hit his head. It happens, you know, it happens. But yeah, so I've been talking about that for the last, I don't know, like 18, 19 hours, I think. I think this is the longest live stream discussion we have to date, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, if you missed it, you missed it. I don't know what to tell you. It's kind of crazy. But with all of that said, let's get back to where we were for the discussion with Ironwood and Winter, of course. Metal hand, broken hand. No, I'm just kidding. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Aw, shit, here we go again. Yeah, so this is part 2 to the chapter 1 live stream discussion. If you're just tuning in now and you're confused, that's exactly what I was going for. Yeah, I know, right? 19-hour discussion of a 18-minute episode. True fan confirmed. Yeah, I was like, I kind of want to do something. I don't want to just start the stream, like, all willy-nilly. So I was like, you know what? I'll just go into this long-ass spiel about telling them how the writers told me the RWBY ending and just, like, explain very vague, but also obscene things happening. But yeah, so thank you guys again for tuning in to part 2 of the discussion. We're picking up where we left off yesterday. For those who weren't here yesterday, who are here today, or for those of you who were, I guess if they were here yesterday, they wouldn't be here today, never mind. Yeah, so for those who are just wanting context, I started the live stream discussion yesterday as per the plan, and about 3 hours into it, my internet just fucking tanked. I don't know what happened. I don't think my service provider knows what happened, but I spent the next 3 hours, so it happened around 8:30, and it didn't get fixed until 11:30. So it was just like a 3-hour outage. Yeah, I know, everyone's blaming Watts. It was just a 3-hour issue, right? And I had internet in my house. Like, my internet was working. I reset my router. I reset my computer. I updated my OBS. I honestly don't know what the hell happened. But I have had issues like that in the past with Comcast, so I just think it's their fault. And it's easier to blame them than to find some actual actual issues happening. It's just like I've dealt with it too much to feel like it's not something on their part. So yeah, so we had to end up cutting the stream short. Thankfully, we made a significant way through. Like, I'm on this part right now with Winter and Ironwood in the office, so we talked about, you know, obviously we talked about the beginning of the episode, Cinder's backstory, Salem's faction, Team RWBY and their decision-making for their plans to go and help the people of Mantle and also help the people of Remnant as a whole, Team RWBY's plans, Team Yang's plans, all that stuff. And now we got to, like, the moment, dude. We got to, like, Councilman Sleet getting fucking dome-shotted by the good general, and then things went to shit. So that really annoyed me yesterday. I was actually really upset about that. You know, because it's also like the premiere volume of it's the premiere discussion of the new volume, and it was just like, it was going so well. We had 1,300 people in there too, and then that happened. So that was kind of a damper on my night, unfortunately. But yeah, so we are back. We're gonna be finishing up the chapter, which it's literally this scene, and then the Salem scene with the Grimm, and then the intro. So I don't see this going beyond 2 hours. Don't quote me on that, because I'm bad. I'm bad at managing. Like, I can't foresee how much I'll stretch this discussion out. It's only a matter of time. But yeah, I see the hashtag blame Watts in the chat. I appreciate it. So yeah, I don't know. I guess I'll blame Comcast, and I'll also blame 2020. You know, gotta blame somebody, and this year's already as fucked up as it is, so why not keep that train a-chugging? But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Also, not a lot of people saw it, but who saw the little 3-minute stream that I did yesterday testing out the internet? That was kind of funny. It's unlisted now, but I titled it Internet Test, Do Not Watch, and people are like, don't tell me what to do. Someone actually left a comment, and I was like dying laughing. It was an Arthur reference. It was that title can't help me. That title does nothing for me because I can't read. And that was obviously like a DW reference. But yeah, that was funny. That was just like a quick little test before I headed out for the night, just to make sure my internet was working, because the last thing I wanted to do was go live today and it wasn't resolved, you know? So everything seems to be good. Let me double check really quick before we actually jump in. Okay, stream is healthy. That's what I like to see. I don't know why there was any issues yesterday, but you know, what's in the past is in the past. Let's focus on the present. Hydro, literal bruh moment last night. So what was actually great about yesterday, I guess the silver lining to it, was like the last 5 seconds of the stream, which is up on my channel, by the way. So that's why this thumbnail is orange. Like the first one was blue, the second one was orange, just so people know that it's a continuation. I didn't want people thinking I double uploaded. Like the last 5 seconds is like a meme. I was like, oh no, and then my stream cut off. That was like perfect timing. And I see people in the chat like saying like, oh my god, that's like the funniest part of the whole thing. So at least something good came out of it. Oh no, famous last words. Yeah. So yeah, I thought that was really, really funny. But yeah, so we're gonna be continuing on. I honestly don't want to waste any more time, because I feel like yesterday I was thinking, I was like, dude, this discussion was 3 hours. If I just stayed on track, I probably could have finished the whole thing in that 3 hours. So if the internet thing did happen, it didn't matter because we were done. Calm down. But this is me we're talking about. When am I ever like straight to the point with my discussions, you know? Is that a Portal reference? No, I just thought I just think blue and orange go really well together, so I thought it would just be a nice contrast. That is a Portal reference, actually. I think blue and orange are like complementary colors, so that's why it wasn't a Portal reference. I actually never played Portal 2. Well, I've played it, but I've never like played. I played like the campaign or the co-op. Sorry, I didn't play like the single player. But yeah, I get what you mean. Blaze Star, thank you for the donation. Hey Arnold, no kidding, your reactions are probably the thing I look forward to most with the release of every volume. Huh, why am I getting this weird sense of deja vu? Jokes aside, glad to see you got everything fixed. Thank you guys very, very, very much. Rosie Chan, thank you so much for becoming a channel member. Thank you. You'll have access to my Discord server. Appreciate the support, thank you. So one last thing, and then we're actually, you know what, I'll probably back up a little bit in the discussion just so I can. Oh, actually, I don't think I need to go the Clover route again. Actually, yeah, we'll start here. Hold on, give me 1 second. I'm new to this. It's my first time streaming, apparently. Colton KP, dude, thank you for that. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I just realized how puffed out Arnold's hair looked. Yeah, my hair is growing out. If you look on like this side, it's just like all like ringlets because I'm letting my hair grow out. There's more on that side than there is on this side, but it's coming together relatively well, I think. I've never grown my hair out this long, so it's all new to me. Shit, I lost my train of thought. What was I gonna say? Oh, okay, so before we get into that, there's one last thing I want to mention and address. Some of you guys probably saw it. I talked about it on Discord. I talked about it on the YouTube community tab. I talked about it on Twitter. But I'm not really good at writing scripts. I've always had this, like, haunting thing about my videos and my content and RWBY and other creators where I feel like what I do is never enough. I feel like the reactions and the live streams are good. Like, clearly people watch them, clearly people enjoy them, but there's always more I could do. And I feel like for people who've like seen all of the stuff that I've made on my channel over the years, it's probably very clear that I've tried so many times to do reviews. You know, like I see other peers in the community, right? Eruption Fang, that Kaito Dan, not to drop names or anything. I'm just saying, like, I like, these are people that I definitely respect in the community, like Kaito Dan, Eruption Fang, Phoenix Knight. They just have a way of just getting their points out, and their videos are so appealing, and it's like review format, and it's scripted, and it's nice and clean, and it's not rambling or anything like that. And I've really like tried. I'm just not, like, my brain is just not wired to make content like that, unfortunately. And I wish it, I mean, I kind of wish I could have both. Like, I wish I can do like the discussions and stuff like that, but also the more, I guess, professional scripted videos. And I've tried, right? Like, I did like the TLDR reviews in volume 5. I tried doing the rapid fire reviews in volume 7. And it's just like, I'll spend an entire day and I'll get like half a page done of script writing or even plot points. And it's weird. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the fantasy setting of RWBY. I don't know if it's my brain. I don't know. I just don't know. So yesterday I really had to come to the realization, like Arnold, focus on what people enjoy out of you, but like I really had to tell myself I need to stop. Like, I need to stop trying. Instead of like forcing myself to make it work, I just need to make come to the harsh reality that that's just not my forte, and stick to what I'm good at and try to improve what I'm good at. So yeah, that was like the first major thing that I really just sat down and just like had like an introspective moment with myself, because I want to be more than just reactions, you know? And I also know that my format isn't really for everybody. The biggest thing is, like, I wanted to do reviews so people can still get my content, but not feel like they have to slug through hours of a live stream to get it. You know what I mean? So, like, I ultimately, like, and I don't care about, like, it's not about money or anything like that, or growing. It's just, if I do this thing, more people get to experience it. And so, like, so now what I'm thinking of doing now is, like, I'll still be doing the live streams every Thursday, 6 p.m. unless Comcast wants to screw me over. I'll still be doing live streams, but what I think I'm going to do, and I've already started it today, is I'm also going to be doing stream highlights. So essentially, I ramble and I talk about a specific topic. I'll just take bits and pieces of different talking points of my stream, compile it into maybe like a 30-40 minute video, upload it to YouTube, and that can cater to people who don't have 3, 4, 5 hours to watch the live stream, whether it's live or a VOD, but they can still, you know, feel like they're a part of the conversation. They can still leave comments. They can still hear my thoughts. And the beauty of all of that is, some of you guys might have noticed from volume 6, volume 7, even the fucking volume 8 video that went up yesterday, there is a member of our community, Mr. Coleman, who has left timestamps of every talking point I've done in the series, for like, and he's in the chat too, like, absolute mad lad. And that's ultimately what's helping me with coming to this decision. And I've talked to him about it, and he's agreed to help me out with doing that, and that's gonna cut on so much editing time, because I won't have to go back and watch my stream. I'll just go into the comment section, I'll pull the timeline, I'll get the source footage, and then I'll just sift through it that way. So it's gonna be a bit of editing, but it's not gonna be nearly as long as if I did it by myself. So I feel like that's I feel like that is ultimately the best alternative that I can do. And I asked people on Twitter, and even some people on RWBY were like, yeah, I would love that. You know, I don't have time to watch the live streams, but I, of course, want to hear your thoughts. And, you know, people can tune in and tune out, but they can't, you know, they always feel like they're missing something because they're not here for the whole thing. So, yeah. So, Mr. Coleman, again, in chat, thank you so very much for all of the help. Thank you for continuing to help as well. And hopefully these come out relatively well. So there's going to be two formats. There's going to be the long-winded one if you're here for Thursday nights, or if you prefer the live stream discussions, like if you're doing homework or something, or you need background noise, or if you're at work or something and you want to listen to it like a podcast, you have the live stream discussions. If you're short on time, if you know you're not going to be able to make it that Thursday, or you know you're not going to watch the 4 or 5 hour discussion, there's the condensed version that you can watch. So I feel like it caters to both. And there's an audience for both. And more so, there's a potential growing audience for people who don't watch the live streams because it's too long. Now they might watch a different form of content. So yeah. So ultimately, I'm doing one video, but I'm doing like an extra amount of work for the editing to have it as a shortened video. So I think that's a good compromise. I can't do scripts. I'm not gonna like try to killing myself to try to make it work. It's just not my thing, unfortunately. I have nothing but respect for the people who do it. They make videos look incredibly easy when I know it's not. And you know, and I will forever be envious of those people because that's the type of content that I typically watch on YouTube, right? I watch like lore videos, I watch breakdowns, I watch reviews. And it's the content that I'm the most invested in terms of like content that I watch, but it's the content that I feel like I just personally can't produce. So I just focus on a different aspect, which is discussions and reactions. And I think that's okay. So Christian Orth, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. Thank you for being, I assume that's thank you for being peachy. That's cool. That's like a little sticker. I've never seen those before. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Oh, shit. There's a part. I missed part 1. So glad this is. Yeah, so this is. So, like I said, yesterday's stream was cut short from my internet. So I'm picking up where I left off. So this is part 2. Part 1 is all the stuff we've already talked about. So part 2 is going to pick up where that one left off with Ironwood and Winter in the office. Yeah. Chelsea, I'm so glad I get to see you, Arnold. Grateful to have you back here, LOL. Also, was watching you on Twitch too, giving you love before going work. Okay, thank you so much. Hope you're doing well. Hopefully Twitch is treating you well. Everything else in between. Thank you so much for the support. Glad to see you here again. I hope you enjoy RWBY Volume 8. Hope you like the first chapter. And yeah, thank you so much for the support. So I think this is a good point to pick up where we left off yesterday. It's going to be a little hard for me to do that because clearly, you know, I just have to like get back in the zone with I just got to get the rambles going and then everything else is good. Ryan, thank you so much for becoming a channel member. I appreciate it. Who's your favorite RWBY character? Weiss, Ironwood, Pyrrha. I think that's the current order, honestly. All for different reasons, of course, but Ironwood might actually become my favorite by the end of this volume. Chapter 2 comes out tomorrow? Yes, for first members. For first members, yes. Let's see. Okay, so you guys can hear me well, you guys can see me well. Just let me know. Just want to make sure everything's good. I really hope, like, I'm gonna forever have PTSD now that my stream is just gonna go down. So I really, really hope that doesn't happen. Everything's good? All right, I'm gonna be putting slow chat on in a second, so don't worry. Hey, Pumpkin Soup, thank you for the two pounds? I think that's pounds. Love watching your videos while animating. That's cool that you're an animator. That's awesome. Thank you so much for the support. Glad to hear that. We are definitely picking up where we left off, so got a couple hours left of discussion points. Okay. Let's see. live chat. Slow mode at, you know what? I'm going to put slow mode at 45 seconds. I don't know why it was at a minute. That's a bit much. Actually, you know what? We don't have like 1,000 plus people in here. We have like 400. So I'll put slow chat at 30 seconds. If we get more viewers, then I'll shift that accordingly. But I think 30 seconds a person is fine. Yeah, so again, thank you guys very much for continuing to show interest, to show support. I appreciate those of you who were here yesterday, especially. If you weren't able to be here yesterday, the VOD is up for you to check out on your own time. This is going to be the second half of the discussion, which is going to cover Ironwood, Winter, Salem, and then the opening. And then I'm also most likely going to have the condensed version. I'll probably have the condensed versions out by like Sunday, Monday. So at the very least, obviously first members will have already seen episode 2. So if they're interested to hear what my episode 1 thoughts are, along with my reaction being out, I think Sunday, Monday is a good upload schedule for the condensed versions if I can get them out by then. And it's also good for first members because, you know, my upload will be on the same frequency of them watching the episode for free on the site too. So yeah. Christian Orth, thank you for the additional $20 super chat. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. All right. Alrighty, so picking up where we left off, we have Ironwood and Winter back in the office here, and of course, the first thing to notice between these two is that Ironwood has a metal arm, and Winter just got absolutely wrecked by Cinder. She's got like that arm guard on, which is super cool for her new design that we're gonna see in the intro and most likely throughout the volume. I love her ponytail, but yeah, like Ironwood is less human than he's ever been. Like, I think the fact of like his arm, sacrificing his arm to stop Watts, basically was like the last of his humanity being shed off of him. And then that kind of culminated where, you know, like now he's acting more soulless and heartless, you know, as the Tin Man inspiration. And I think this is what his true, I feel like this is what they're truly going for with Ironwood when it comes to his character inspiration. Like, we've always seen Ironwood be very concerned and caring for the people, and he's always wanted to protect people, and everything he's doing is to protect people still. Yeah, he's the metal man. Yeah, there you go. M-E-T-T-L-E. Yeah, the metal man. And, you know, he's not doing it to be like a bad person. Like, he's doing the right thing. He's doing what he feels is right, but not in the best way. And again, this ties into the whole, philosophy that I mentioned with that specific red versus blue character, right? It is undeniable, and may I say a fundamental quality of man, that when faced with extinction, every alternative is preferable. So in Ironwood's mind, if they don't kill Salem, if they don't defeat Salem, they lose. And anything that he's doing, anything that's in his way, anything that he feels is in opposition, that gets in the way of him trying to stop Salem and save the world, you know, or save Atlas or whatever, he feels it's a justification. So yeah, so I think that's his current mindset going into, like, especially after the Gravity episode, but more so like now with his continuous actions of aggression. Christian, oh my gosh, thank you for the additional $15 super chat. Love your videos. Keep it up. Thank you so much. I hope you're enjoying the discussion. Let's see. But yeah, with Winter, I feel like obviously the damage is severe. The fact that like she's feeling pain. Well, first off, I think anyone would feel pain if their hand gets like, even if you did that with me, I would feel some like pushback just by doing that. But like, obviously she's like severely wounded from fighting off Cinder. You know, there's actually some blood drawn as well. But yeah, like she can't even like clench her hand, so I wonder if she has like nerve damage. But the fact is she's far more salvageable than Ironwood, who's just like, yo, amputate my arm off and just give me the metal prosthetic and I'm good to go. The rest of me is already metal. I'm more machine than man at this point. You know what I mean? So obviously, like, I feel like that was just still a way to show like how robotic and I guess how robotic he is, both in his logic thinking as well as his like his actions and just his body, like physically, versus Winter, who still has a bit of humanity in her. Granted, she's battered and bruised, but she'll make it out alive. Yeah. Another thing too that the song emphasizes is when Ironwood's like, what does it matter that if I don't have a heart, then I am more than machine than a man? What does that change? Does it matter at all? I've made my plan. So like, I feel like to a degree he even understands like, who gives a shit if I'm more machine than a man? I still got a plan. I'm trying to save people. It doesn't matter like that I cast emotions aside, but at the same time, those emotions are like kind of what makes you human to a degree, or humane. I love Winter's like arm guard. It kind of reminds me of like Mass Effect. I think it's mainly like the white, blue, and red, like the color scheme. It's almost like N7 like Shepherd armor. But she looks super cool in the intro as well. She's like geared up. She's got like that arm guard. She's got her ponytail. She just looks like she's not out for the count just yet, and I really, really appreciate the fact that hopefully we'll still see a lot more of her going into this volume. Let's see. Huge fan of Mass Effect series. So I played Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3, but I never played Andromeda, and I never played all of the DLC for Mass Effect 3. I think the last DLC for the game, Citadel, I think the Citadel DLC, I don't think I ever played that one. Which I hear is like the big final send-off for the game too. But yeah, I'm definitely, I want to pick up the remaster because Kaylin's never played Mass Effect and I feel like she'd really like it. Just because like you can ship yourself with like almost any character in the game. So, well, not that's the only reason, but I feel like she'd really like it because there's a lot of relationship aspects with the characters. Citadel was the best DLC. Yeah, and the one DLC that I actually missed. So hopefully they add that. Oh, Garrus was my boy. Garrus was my right-hand man. I took Garrus everywhere with me. Everywhere I took Garrus. And then I got the Prothean when Mass Effect 3 DLC, Day 1 DLC came out. Javik, I think that's his name. I took him on every mission because I was like, Prothean, I want to know everything about this guy. Clearly, they're the race that that's the most important that we know the least about. Is this a rerun? No, it is not. I am continuing where I left off because my stream got cut off yesterday. Hey, what's up, William? Welcome back. I say this as a soldier draft. Okay. Is that your shtick? Is that what we're going for? Ironwood did nothing wrong. Those who say I speak out of fear are lying liars who lie. Oh, boy. Welcome back. Welcome back. Glad to have you here. I appreciate your return. I say, like, Ironwood did nothing wrong or, like, Salem did nothing wrong on Twitter just to troll people sometimes. Because I just think it's like, come on now. Clearly, they're acting up. Okay. So, let's see. What is next here? Yeah, so Ironwood and Winter having their little chit chat, and then obviously Ironwood's talking about like what is he gonna do, what's his plan. He doesn't really say necessarily like right out the gate, but he's like, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to save, you know, to save Atlas, no matter the cost. And again, that's what the enemy's banking on. It again, I feel like it's super glossed over. But Tyrion literally said, I think it was in volume 5 or volume 6. Actually, yeah, I think it was volume 6. he was like, if the general comes to his senses and requests aid from Vacuo, all hope may be lost. Like, the whole point is to cause so much disarray because Salem knows Ironwood. Like, she knows that he's afraid of her. And if she can manipulate that fear to cause him to do things that he normally wouldn't under normal circumstances, that works in their favor for the end game. So, like, it's so clear what he needs to do. They need to just get through to him. It was Volume 5. Okay, yeah, so Volume 5. I always forget if it's Volume 5 or Volume 6. So, yeah, mentions in Volume 5, like, specifically, like, that's the goal that they need to do. And obviously, they're banking on him throwing everything at her, including the kitchen sink. And that includes his allies, that includes his friends, his family, his co-workers, his allies, everything. And at the end of the day, it's like, well, what do you have left to protect? No, it's Volume 6. Okay, well, I have no idea now. Someone said Volume 5, someone else said Volume 6. Is it Volume 6? Yeah, I think it actually. Yeah, because that's when Tyrion and Watts were leaving. It was the scene with with Emerald and Mercury. Yeah, you're right. So it is Volume 6. Okay. Y'all be confusing me. Volume 2. Tyrion wasn't in Volume 5. Well, like I said, it's been a while. It's definitely been a while. Yeah, I remember the episode. I just didn't remember the sequence of events of it all happening. We're, like, in Volume 8 now. Like, there's so many moments that I have to, like, keep tabs on in my mind. Yo, you guys remember Tuxin? Y'all remember him? Damn. Remember when we thought that was important? Fucking Tuxin. Third Crusade. God. We didn't know anything. We didn't know shit back then. But yeah, so Winter mentions, like, oh, Crow and Rob. So Crow and Robin are here. We might see them in the next episode. I'm not entirely sure, but obviously, I feel like there's going to be a lot of back and forth. Ironwood's going to have his own preconceived notions. Winter was, not Raven, Robin. I keep mixing Robin and Raven now, because, like, they're bird names, and they both start with R. But Crow and Robin are back, so that could go any way, depending on how Ironwood's feeling. Clover's dead. Tyrion's at large. Crow's kind of sus. Robin was knocked out. There's no way to confirm what exactly happened. It's Ironwood's word versus Crow's word. Versus just, like, it just wouldn't make sense for him to just immediately think that Crow would kill Clover. But if he thinks Crow did it in retaliation to him being, a fugitive, then, that could still be something that Ironwood would think on his own, to justify, like, no, you did kill Clover. Yes, Clover is dead. Yeah, Clover is dead. They confirmed it today on the, I did watch, but they confirmed it today on the RWBY Volume 8 watch party. That was on the Rooster Teeth site today. Yeah, they confirmed he's dead. I mean, I don't think it really needed confirmation. Like, his chest cavity got blown open and blood was everywhere. And the light left his eyes. And then even now you see him in the coroner's room, like, just pale as a ghost. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure everyone knew that he was dead before we actually saw it. Yeah, post-autopsy. Yeah. Robin's semblance. The thing is, though, like, I guess, yeah. Robin's semblance could help out. Dude, how slow is this chat? I know, I feel like a lot of people are obviously just engaging, so might have to up it to 45, who knows. I'll wait and see. So yeah, so I think the only thing that could really help in this situation now is Robin's truth semblance, because that seems to just sift through all the bullshit. And Ironwood knows what her semblance is, right? On the council and all that stuff. So it's just a matter of if he's willing to believe and agree to just hearing them out. Like, if he goes against that, it's literally the fact that he doesn't want to hear the truth. He doesn't want to be proven wrong. He doesn't want to second guess himself. if he decides what he wants to do and he knows everyone has to listen to him, he doesn't have to take in any other considerations. And if his semblance is like tunnel vision, it's not going to allow him, or it's going to prevent him from wanting to want the truth. You know what I mean? I just don't know how it's going to play out, because Robin is the key, but is it really going to be that easy? You know what I mean? And then obviously, even if that does work, it seems like Crow has something out for Ironwood, because he mentioned, you know, James will take the fall. I'll make sure of that. So even if Ironwood's okay with it, Crow isn't, because, you know, Ironwood's the one that sent out the initial, hey, y'all are fugitives of the law now. You know what else is going to be really terrifying that I just realized is that Ironwood mentioned if Cinder's here, then that means Hazel must be here as well. But Hazel wasn't there yet. So that's going to be a double coincidence, because he thinks that Cinder was put there purposely when that was just a coincidence. Then he's like, for all we know, Hazel might be here as well. And then when Hazel shows up, he's gonna, like, it's just gonna reinforce his suspicions of everything. He's just gonna assume that he's right about everything, when everything was just, like, an actual coincidence. Hazel just showed up with the kids, you know? Yeah, he's gonna think he was right again, and again, that's just going to reinforce his ego and everything that he's thinking. So we might actually see Crow and Robin relatively soon. They're held up in one of the, I think they said like Hangar B or something, or Stockade B or whatever. But yeah, so they're probably like held up in a security prison. I don't know if they're nearby Watts and Jacques, because from the trailer we know that they're in prison too, but they're like in maximum security, so it's kind of different. But yeah, we just have to wait and see about that. So this is an image that precedes unfortunate events, ladies and gentlemen. It's kind of crazy that this one image is pretty much the talk of the town for the show right now for the first chapter. This is literally events that precede unfortunate unfortunate events of absolute savagery. Councilman Sleet, Councilwoman Camilla. They want some answers. Obviously, Ironwood is kind of literally off the rails now. Like, he even went against... And you know why? Because, like, without a fifth council person, there's no checks and balances. He holds 2 seats of the council, so these 2, like, negate him, and he knows that. So he just decided, fuck it, I'm just gonna do it. Now he shot a council person, so literally he has full council control, because it's him and Councilwoman Camilla, and I'm pretty sure she's probably gonna resign right now, you know, after what happened during this moment. But yeah, this man's on some next level bullshit, dude. I was shooketh, absolutely shook by this fucking moment. I cannot believe that shit happened. I can do some, like, mental gymnastics to understand why he shot Oscar, right? And also, I can do some mental gymnastics in justifying, like, okay, at least he shot a huntsman. It wasn't just some random civilian that can't defend themselves. He literally shot a businessman who most likely has never fought a day in his life, probably doesn't have an aura, like doesn't have his aura unlocked like Jean, just a simple man, right in the head most likely, since it was like a 1-shot, 1-kill. We don't hear him screaming or wailing in pain, so that was just a shoot to kill. And yeah, so, and I honestly feel like this was ultimately, again, a product of his semblance to a great degree of, I'm gonna do whatever it takes. The ends justify the means. If I kill Councilman Sleet and that means Salem can eventually be stopped because of me, he is a necessary sacrifice. Like, he's literally thinking like Salem, and incredibly dangerous. Because now this message is sent to everyone in the room, right? The Aesops, Councilwoman, Winter. The only person that's unfazed by that are the fucking droids at the door, just chilling, like, yo, it's in our program. Actually, a little bit. Vine Zeki was also kind of unfazed by that a little. He kind of just looked over. He was like, holy shit, dude. I can't believe he actually did that. But, like, everyone else is like, bro, are you for real? Are we actually doing this? I don't know, man. Like, this is, like, damn near... this is pretty much irredeemable for the general. And, I mean, in the eyes of the public, too, like, this would just be unacceptable. And clearly, this is the type of, like, dirty shit that he's gonna take to his grave and make sure, like, at the end of the day, he's like, at the end of the day, I'm justified, I'm doing the right thing, you can't tell me otherwise, and this is the only way to get rid of my obstacle. My semblance is allowing me to just focus on the goal, no matter the cost. And that's what they're banking on. Watts is like, I hope you sacrifice everything, dude. I really do. Because ultimately, you're going to throw everything at us, and then you're going to have nothing to defend yourself with. And you're going to push everyone back to the point where they're not going to care what happens to you, regardless if you're trying to save them. You know? I wouldn't want to be... You know what I mean? Because it's kind of like, I don't know. It's just... He just leaves, like, a pool of blood and death in his wake to get to the point where he can just say, I saved everybody, I did my part, I was right. Yeah. So, yeah, the Tin Man has no heart at this point, and the worst part about that is the people who work under him, right? He just told Winter, I don't know where I'd be without you. How do you think someone like that's gonna feel when they see you just kill someone in cold blood? You know? Watching you become an actual monster. Granted, up until this point, right, the conversation she had with Weiss last volume, she was very much adamant to the fact that the general is doing his best. He's doing things that, you know, he's ultimately doing the best that he can, and he's dealing with a lot of shit from a lot of people, but she trusts that he knows what's best and she's gonna follow him. I feel like this is the slow turning point for Winter to carve her own path, like what Weiss said. She's like, everyone needs to find their own way. And it's also interesting because in Volume 7, we saw that Penny the robot was more humane and acting more like a human than Winter, who's a human, was acting more emotionless. Like, you know, basically like, you know, she was mentioning that, like, it was bad for her to tap into her emotions and to lash out at her father the way she did. It wasn't becoming of her, you know, of a huntress or whatever, or just someone under the general. And I feel like this is definitely a turning point, because now she's gonna see, like, okay, if I was that bad, you know, and someone like Penny has such ranges of emotions as a character who is a robot. Look at Ironwood. This man has no heart. He's a tin man. He's not even metal, he's fucking tin. So I really do think Winter is gonna have this major turning point now, where she's just going to go against him slowly, especially if she feels like he's a threat to her sister, or a threat to just anybody who might get in his way, even if they mean well, you know? Another thing that we need to consider, right? Let me go back a little bit. Another thing that we need to consider is Ironwood's trigger, right? So Ironwood is scared. Like, he is filled with fear at the thought of Salem, at the thought of what she's done to his fleet at the Vital Festival, run-ins that he may have had with her in the past. And, like, the first initial trigger was when Oscar basically said, I know that you're scared, we all are. And he's like, that's easy for you to say, you know? Basically, like, I'm not scared, don't say that I'm scared, I'm not scared. And then he shot Oscar. If you listen closely in this scene, the last thing that Councilman Sleet said was, are you really that scared? And then he shot him. So I think that's Ironwood's thing. Like, if you challenge him and question his confidence, or say that he's afraid or scared of Salem, that's like a direct challenge at him, and he just loses his shit. So that's a very important thing to keep in mind, because that is what is really, like, that's like the tipping point. Like, you say that to him, your goose is cooked, my guy. And I think his actions speak to the fact that he's terrified. He's, you know, clearly, You skipped a few lines. I mean, I think the end result is just the fact that he was like, martial law, have you lost your damn mind? Are you really that scared? And obviously that's the big thing. That's like one of the last things that he says before he shoots him. The general is no coward. And it's kind of funny when you think about that too, because Leo was the cowardly lion, and yeah, rightfully so. He was a coward, you know what I mean? He sent people to get killed to protect himself and to do what Salem said just so he can save his own ass. And at the end of the day, he still died anyway because he just like pussied out at the very last minute. No pun intended that he's a cat, but or that he's a lion, Faunus. But yeah, like Ironwood isn't necessarily a coward. It's just the fact of like he very much has a right to be scared. It's just the fact of like he doesn't know how to cope with that. I don't know if it's just like a complex where he's like, I am the definition of might and power and authority and force, and I have this army, I have these men and women who will go into battle with me. I have all of these things. I have so much strength. Look how strong I am. How could I be afraid of anything? And it's almost like everything around him is to is overly compensating for the fact that regardless of your ships, regardless of your huntsmen and huntresses, they pale in comparison to Salem and what she can do and what she can create. And that ultimate and that unknown, that not knowing how to defeat her is something that is very much compacting and compounding onto him with every passing moment, right? Shooting Oscar, shooting Councilman. I wonder how many more characters are going to end up coming across him. I really hope he just doesn't like go on like a shooting frenzy as the volume goes on. I really feel like he's going to have like this confrontation again with either Oscar Ozpin or Team RWBY. God forbid Winter has to step in. You know what I mean? Like, imagine Ironwood being so far gone that he just turns on the very people who are ultimately there for him and there to help him. You know, he's just like so far in it, and he just like the furthest extreme that fear can take a person, which is when they turn on each other, when they turn on their own men. I wouldn't be surprised if we get like an Ironwood versus Winter or an Ironwood versus Oz or Team RWBY situation. I really feel like Ironwood's gonna tussle at least one more time. And I don't know, it's just unfortunate. You know, they didn't give him that metal arm for no reason. Just keep that in mind. So let's see, moving on from there. So again, the reaction of his soldiers says a lot about how they feel. Mainly this one right here, Harriet, because of the fact of like, what did Team RWBY just say to you? Right? Well, actually, you know what? What did Harriet say to Marrow last volume? Harriet, you're being too excessive. It's not excessive if it's necessary. I wonder where she learned that from. The good general. And if that's not excessive, just killing someone in cold blood for no goddamn reason could have knocked out Councilman Sleet, could have thrown his ass in the brig along with Councilwoman Camilla, deal with them after this is over. And if everyone dies, then guess what? Everyone dies. But like, how is that not excessive? Is that necessary? She doesn't look very happy with the results. You know? And so I just really think that I just feel like Harriet is very stubborn. You know, she is the hare, the tortoise in the hare. She's very stubborn. She's very, like, I don't know. She's very, what's the word I'm looking for? Hot-headed. Very hot-headed, especially for the last volume. especially when, you know, when she went up against Team RWBY, and she didn't want to listen to RWBY. She didn't want to work together with them. She's like, nah, fuck that shit. I'm here to do what I'm here to do as a member of the ASOPs, even though I don't get along with my own teammates. And now, if she were to second think her decision and second guess the general, she'd be giving Team RWBY the satisfaction. So I think that's where we're at right now with Harriet. I don't know if more of his actions are going to lead the ASOPs to think more unified instead of, you know, just going with his own, you know what I mean? Because they are Ironwood's will. They're like an extension of him. And if they see some shit that they don't necessarily agree with after what just happened, Ironwood's display right there is saying, anybody gets in my way. If anyone literally gets in my way, this is what he basically made an example out of Sleet. And it's kind of fucked up. But that's kind of how I see it. Was in a meeting for the last hour, made it just in time. Hey, what's up, Eddie? Thanks for tuning in, man. I appreciate it. We're just getting through the rest of the discussion because my internet pooped out on me yesterday. But yeah, glad to have you here, bud. I had just thought that if you activated the Relic of Knowledge and time stops, can you interact or touch things that were frozen? I don't know. I don't really know, actually. Well, the thing is, too, it's weird because even when Jin was first summoned, everyone in the area wasn't frozen in time. It's just, I don't know if it's like a radius, and it's like anyone that's around time is frozen. You know what I mean? Or like people in the immediate vicinity of Jin are unfrozen in time. You know what I mean? I wonder if that's how it works. I don't know about the RWBY Amity Arena game. That's completely different. The second time the rest of them froze. Yeah, so that's a little, I don't really understand the distinction between the two. I don't know if it's everybody or if it's only the person that answered that called her. But yeah. So, and I'm also worried about Winter. Like I said, I feel like she's going to have to make some difficult choices of how far she wants to go in following Ironwood before she decides, yo, you probably need to reconsider your approach to certain things because this is, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad PR. And I'm kind of having I'm kind of having doubts about where you are mentally and if that's a good idea for you to continue leading, you know, leading this military in your current mindset. And again, they're not going to be sleeping for the next couple of days. They've been up for the last 8-9 episodes, you know, since the dinner party at Jacques' place. So I just think things are just going to get worse mentally for Ironwood. Like, there is no getting better. I honestly feel like he's going to die within the next 2 days, to be quite honest. But it's just how much shit is he going to do before then? We just have to wait and see. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. What do we have next? So yeah, again, rest in peace, my boy. Yo, you know what's absolutely, like, ridiculous about this entire scene? You want to know what's actually ridiculous about this? There's one less person in Atlas who can actually tie their own tie. Councilman Sleet actually could tie a tie, dude. Look at that. Look at that, dude. Look at that tie. The tie has a clip on it, but it is not a clip-on tie. And now there's one less person in this place that can do that now. I don't know if Iron would switch sides, if he's like, I heard this guy was talking shit about I heard this guy was talking shit about Jacques in that one video I watched where those RWBY fans were roasting Jacques for wearing a clip-on tie. I'll show him. Oh boy. But yeah, yeah, that's probably like the biggest, that's the first thing I thought of when this happened. I was like, wow, we actually featured Councilman Sleet in that video because of the fact that he had a clip on his tie, but it wasn't a clip-on. So, yeah, I actually went back and rewatched that video right before Volume 8 just because it's like, it's such a classic at this point. It's got a hole in it now. I mean, I think there's a hole in his head, not in his tie. That was the first thing you noticed? Well, not the first thing, but it was among many of... Because I literally watched the clip-on tie video the night before Volume 8. So, like, and he's in that video. Like, we talk about Councilman Sleek quite a bit. So I'm like, damn it! They got him! I can't believe it. But yeah. So yeah, it's only a matter of time to really... It's only a matter of time before we see the repercussions of everything. I just wonder what the rest of the Aesops are going to do, right? I think Vine is very, like, unemotional for the most part of how things work, you know, with his time being in the Aesops. I think of all of the Aesops, I think Marrow is going to be the one that starts having some second thoughts about, you know, because he was very, like, he seemed pretty down that they had to fight Team RWBY. He was also questioning, are we really going to fight Team RWBY? And now seeing what Ironwood is doing, you know, and also just how Faunus in general have been treated in Mantle, I really wouldn't be surprised if Marrow starts having, like, some second doubts of, like, yo, maybe we shouldn't do this. And that could probably, that probably is spelling out some, you know, I don't want to say death flags, but obviously I don't think that's the way to go for him, considering how Ironwood currently is. And if you go against him, you're kind of his enemy. You know, it's either, I think Ironwood's mindset right now is it's either you're with me or you're against me. And if any, especially if one of his Aesops turns on him, he's going to see that as an act of betrayal. And I don't really think that's going to blow over well. I also think Marrow is the rookie of the, yeah, he's the rookie of the bunch too. The most playful, the most innocent, not the most cynical or stern. You know, he seems to still be, well, at the beginning, he seemed to be very enthusiastic and playful. You know, he's a dog as well and all that stuff. So, I don't know. It just seems like, he just seems like the obvious candidate of someone who is going to have something to say about what just happened. I do want to see his semblance again, right? Stay? God, it's such a fucking cool semblance, man. I really hope we see the Stay semblance again, just at least one more time. And I'm pretty sure we're going to have another slugfest with the Aesops after Clover died. We saw them, you know, facing off in the intro, I'm sorry, in the trailer. So I'm pretty sure we're going to get some more of the Aesops, probably with the fisticuffs, like with the gloves off this time, you know, because obviously they were trying to restrain themselves when fighting Team RWBY. At least some of them were. So it might be a different story this time around. So that scene plays out, and now Salem has the Relic of Knowledge. Let me ask you guys a question. Who do you think the last question will be asked this volume? Like, do you think Jin, we're gonna see Jin for the last time this volume? No. A lot of yeses. I'm curious about her question. Well, unfortunately to Salem, if she does summon Jin, she gets a question, even though she says, I have questions for you. She doesn't know that there's only one question left, right? Ozpin asked the first one, most likely. RWBY asked the second one. And whoever gets this last one gets only one question. And I assume Salem's question, if she does get it, is probably going to be, where's the Relic of Choice? How can I get the Relic of Choice that Ozpin has hidden? You have to be super specific about your question. You know, you can't just ask like a simple yes or no question. Like, you have to ask something that you're going to get the most information out of. So I think it would be, how do I find the Relic of Choice that Ozpin has hidden? You know, because the rest of them, I think we know for sure, like, two of them are here. The sword is in Vacuo, and the crown is the one that she can't find. You know, because she has her forces looking at Beacon right now for it. So she's actually being like, the relic is there. We have to just find it. And Ozpin already mentioned that he made that one particularly difficult to find. So I think if anything, she's probably going to ask, where's the relic? But yeah, we got a new Grim. A bunch of people on the Crewbie have been hyping this Grim up. Like, it's a Grim that they're really excited for people to see. The ears remind me of, like, bat ears, kind of. but its body type, if it is the same Grim that I'm thinking of in the trailer, it kind of looks like a gargoyle. So it's kind of like it kind of reminds me of like a bat, gargoyle, bloodhound. Like it's sniffing the relic, it's getting the scent of Oscar. You know, he was the last person with the relic, clearly the person that will know how to use it. I don't know if, I'm pretty sure Salem knows that that's Ozpin, or the host of Ozpin. So kill two birds with one stone, get the most important person in the series kidnapped and brought to you. Granted, Oz is back, so maybe Oz can help defend if Oscar gives him control. But it's clearly the Grim. He's sniffing out like a bloodhound, sniffing out the scent. He's going to go after Oscar, bring him back, tell her how to activate the relic. And honestly, as long as they don't do that, they're good. I mean, not realistically, she needs to bring the 4 relics together, but the less access she has to these relics, the better. You know what I mean? So as long as she doesn't know the name of Jin, but then I feel like she would be like, if I kill Oscar, you'll just reincarnate elsewhere, but this boy's blood will be on your hands. So it's almost like a hostage situation. So I think at this point she might do that to get the information of how to summon Jin. And you would still need to know how the other relics work too, because I'm pretty sure there's a tell for every other relic. We're going to get into that in the intro, but I feel like all of the relics to a degree probably work the same way of having like a certain specific step that you need in order to harness its power. Have you considered torture? Oh boy. But yeah, so along with 2020 being shit, this is just another volume where Oscar can't catch a fucking break. This kid had to deal with Ozpin in his head during volume 4. He got fucking punched in the face by Crow. He ran away from home technically, but he got like harassed by Jean. You know what I mean? Like non-stop harassment. This kid can't catch a break at all. And yeah, Oscar Protection Squad, I feel bad for you. Y'all are gonna be working overtime this volume. But yeah, so now Salem has the relic. She's gonna go find Oscar, or she's gonna have this Grim go find Oscar. Obviously, she's planning for her assault. With every minute that passes, that shield is lowering, getting weaker and weaker. And once they break through, Atlas is done for. And that's essentially how the first chapter is shaping up to be right now. And I think it set the pace and the tone really well, because, you know, going into the first thing we saw in RWBY was like Yang and company like riding on those hover bikes, and I'm like, why y'all looking like you're having a little too much fun with how volume 7 just started, right? And I guess now this episode gives a lot of context to like, okay, Salem just can't run up in here and just act a fool and cause problems. Her focus isn't Mantle, it's Atlas, and until she breaks through Atlas, that gives us a chance to clear Mantle and simultaneously send this message to the rest of the world. So I think the context of actually seeing the first episode makes sense for why things play out the way they do. It's not all doom and gloom yet. We still have 13 more chapters before things ramp up. Lord knows how they're going to do that. There's so many different things that can potentially happen with Penny, with Watts, with Cinder being back in the picture, potentially getting her backstory. Obviously, Ironwood now is pretty much an antagonist to everybody. You know, whether you're an Atlesian or whether you're on Team RWBY or whether you're, you know, doesn't matter who you are. Grim, human, friend, foe, you're all on the same spectrum for him, which is pretty scary. But yeah, this first chapter was great. I really, really enjoyed it. Super excited to just be back and to know that next week, and the 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 next week, we just get RWBY for the next couple of months. It's the best way to end 2020, because this year has been absolute shite. And I definitely look forward to just seeing... I'm not looking forward to, like, the stress and the emotions and the... I'm just not looking forward to the bad stuff that's going to happen this volume, to be honest. All I can do is brace for it and hope for the best. But yeah, that's going to be a great way to start 2021, that's for sure. But ultimately, great chapter overall. Really liked it. Just hope all of my thoughts were conveyed I guess, in the best way from scene to scene, at least, moving forward. And we just have to wait to see what happens next week. So that is the first episode, ladies and gentlemen. Now, we got the intro. Holy shit. Okay, so this intro is probably the most visually appealing. It's anime as fuck. It's dark as hell. It's got a lot of symbolism, a lot of implications, a lot of stuff can be happening. A lot of stuff that we can get from this, right? The first scene here, you know, mantle, everything's fine and dandy, and now everything's on fire and everything burns and everything hurts. And it went from 0 to 100 real quick. I think that's the best way that I can categorize these screens here. 0 to 100. Hey, Shadow Wolf, welcome. My God, thank you so much for the super chat. I got to this. Hey, glad to have you here, man. Thank you. So that's super generous of you. My God. Thank you very, very much. But yeah, this intro is not fucking around. It's not pulling any punches. I'll be honest with you guys, no bullshit, and this breaks my heart, but I don't think I can sing this intro. Like, I think Casey looked at the last couple of years that I've been singing the intro, and, you know, I've done, like, those compilations, and she was like, challenge accepted. And, yeah, I think I've met my match. When she says some roses, I'm like, yep, I'm out. Like, there's no fucking way. Like, there's no way I can do this. Oh, man. But, yeah, I'm just being honest with y'all. Aw, man. You gotta sing. Aw, man. Have I pigeonholed myself? Am I like, I have to do it? Yeah, I still don't have the lyrics down just yet, so it might be another chapter before I can, unless I just like play the song over and over in my head until the end, until tomorrow. Unsubbed, disliked, and reported. I mean, I have to shift it down a couple octaves. Holy crap. Do it for the fans. They demand it. All right, we'll see. We'll see, okay? All right. Clearly, there's a very vocal demand. I did not think that. I thought people would be like, Arnold, you know what? I hear you. It's pretty intimidating. Do it for the Vine? Oh, God. Do it for the Vine. I ain't gonna do it. Do it for the Vine. Oh, do it for the TikTok? God. TikTok. I got nothing against TikTok. I just don't use it. But yeah, so a lot of shit's about to pop off. So you guys are gonna... I'm not gonna be on screen very often because there's gonna be a lot of these full screen images just so I can get my talking points out. But visually, I'm pretty sure they're appealing. Hopefully you guys enjoy them. But yeah, I feel bad for Ruby. She's just like, okay, let's do this. And the world's on fire now. Feels bad, man. But yeah, so this is the first image that we actually saw. This was actually a GIF that was in the first, that was first posted on Twitter. So this is technically like the first thing that we saw of the intro. I wasn't sure that it was the intro because all the characters are on it and they're in their like 3D models. It just looked different. You know what I mean? Because we usually see the, I think we usually see the, like the title screen at the end. I'm trying to think. Actually, no, never mind. We actually do see it like right at the beginning. That was the same for volume 6. I'm trying to think of volume 7. Yeah, and volume 7. Yeah. Yeah, it was just very different because I don't know. It just kind of looked like a scene play. I honestly felt like this was made specifically for the Twitter post, not necessarily it was in the intro. But yeah, you got the whole gang here. You got Team RWBY, Team Juniper. The gang's all here. I find it interesting that the title is split with RWBY in the group, or maybe I'm looking too much into it. Yeah, I feel like... Okay, here's another thing, too. Today... Okay, let me just get off... Let me take this off screen real quick. So today, Rooster Teeth did a watch party for the first chapter, and they did confirm. So I was actually right yesterday. Evidence is there. Go check the VOD. The picture in the bar with those two people, on, like, in the portrait... They were the owners of the bar, and that's literally what I said. I was like, I feel like this is just another example of when Rooster Teeth just puts something in the show, and it's so normal that people say to themselves, there needs to be a reason why they put that there. It has to be a reason, and it was literally just a picture of the owners, and that was it. So yeah, that was kind of funny. When that confirmation came out, because Klaxon, she made like a theory, like a whole theory about it, and Carrie was like, if you guys are breaking down that picture to find the plot of Volume 8, you're not gonna find it. They're just the owners of the bar. That's it. But yeah, I thought that was really funny because like the fandom does that a lot. Like they look at something super simple and they try to apply like this means way more than what it simply just is. And like it happened in the first chapter, you know? It's kind of funny. I don't know. Anyways. I really, really liked these. This was such a cool... This is probably my favorite shot of the opening, honestly. Not only it just looks gorgeous, right? Like the little, like, I don't know what to call them, but they're like stardust lights or whatever. Kind of look like little fireflies. But yeah, like every character has a bit of their past incorporated with their present self. RWBY overlooking the cliff of her mother's grave, so that could kind of be like Volume 1, which is how the red trailer started out, with her looking over her mother's grave. But with the sunset, it's more like Volume 3. Which is how Volume 3 started, right? With her talking to her mom before she went to the Vital Festival tournament. You got Weiss in the Volume 5 character short of, you know, basically realizing, you know, I think the hashtag is RWBY before after, or before after RWBY. And these are super, super, super cool. You know, Weiss is from the Volume 5 character short of her training with the help of her sister to eventually leave the isolation of her father, of her family name, and to become a huntress. Blake, of course, leaving the White Fang behind, and, you know, leaving Adam and the organization, and wanting to become more noble and try to do the right thing and change the world as a huntress. And then Yang kind of leaving behind her carefree life on Patch with her dad and her dog. You know, on her way to, I think that one is the Yang character short, as she's like training with RWBY before she heads out to Beacon. Let's see. Another nice touch that I liked on this moment was the first lyrics is, "We said goodbye to all the things we love." And I feel like that's an interesting parallel to "It's time to say goodbye," because the lyrics in the chorus for that song is, "Now it's time to say goodbye to the things we loved and the innocence of youth." So I feel like this is like an homage to "Time to Say Goodbye." At least that opening line was. And again, it's a past and present juxtaposition of the characters, how they were in the past and how they are now. And they're so different You know what I mean? They're so different from their Volume 1, Volume 2, their Beacon days, you know? So I really liked that parallel as well. Another thing too, and I want to give a quick shout out to somebody in the community. You guys probably know if you guys are on Twitter, but there's an individual on Twitter by the name of Sombrella who does incredible edits to the RWBY characters and their outfits and crossovers with other series, and I had to feature this. This was so well done, but they actually did a Nora iteration of this opening cinematic moment with Nora and like her past, and this is so like, I saw this and I was like, I want one for every member of Team Juniper now. It looks so like authentic. It looks like it's actually like official. Like it could literally be in the intro with the rest of these, you know what I mean? Like it's so good, man. It's so good. And I love all of their edits that they do, but this one I was like, I needed to feature this. Again, their username's at the bottom right, at Sombrella on Twitter. If you guys aren't following them, definitely give them a follow. I'm constantly retweeting and liking all the stuff that they post, from video game crossovers with RWBY to other anime crossovers with outfits and stuff like that. I just really like it. Their edits are super, like, if I didn't know any better, I thought this was official when I first saw it. I was like, holy crap, that looks so cool. So definitely a great addition to the edits that they've done, and one of the best things to happen to the community, I think. So I think that's really cool. It'd just be awesome if they somehow managed to like have the little glitter stars animating. But overall, I really like this scene. I just think it's a cool like homage and look back on the series overall. These are all the characters in their recent times, Volume 8, you know, with Volume 8, but they all started in very different places, right? RWBY was very you know, she was very socially awkward and had a hard time making friends. Weiss was very for lack of a better term, Weiss was very difficult with people and was stuck in the mindset of an Elysian, and it makes so much sense now that we've been to Atlas why she had that mindset. Blake was warped by her ideals of wanting peace and equality and getting lost in that with the White Fang and Adam, and Yang was so carefree. By the way, she's got 2 arms in that in that little edit there, by the way, just saying. But like, even her, you know, she's gone through her own struggles, especially like with her mom and obviously her arm and everything that's happened with her. And even now, like, there's seems to be kind of like a little bit of disputes going on with her and her sister, but I feel like they'll still make it through together. But yeah. I just love this moment. I think this is my favorite part of the opening. Just seeing these 4, it just takes me on a wild ride of like, holy shit, this series has been going on for so long, and we still have so much more to get through with it. And I absolutely loved it. This is beautiful. All right, again, shout out to Sombrella. All right, let's see. Let's clear this out and go to the next one. So now we actually shift to Ironwood, and it shows him kind of like a transitional thing where before we see him and so at first we see him with the city like not destroyed, and now it's like all up in flames, and he's just kind of being overshadowed by like the wind that's blowing. And then if you actually see carefully, that hand that drops Clover's pin, that's actually Clover's hand, wearing the same glove too. So I guess it's just like, it's like he's leaving behind all of the friends, you know, all of the you know, his teammates. Crow clearly is a big part of that, someone that he considered a friend, someone that he wanted to have a, you know, to have a relationship with, whether that be friendship or otherwise, it's up, I guess, for debate or interpretation. But like, obviously he didn't want things to go the way they did, and unfortunately he had to leave them behind, based on everything that happened with Tyrion and with Clover. So it is unfortunate, because obviously we see, you know, everyone else that's left behind, all of their expressions. You know, Harriet looks pissed off, Marrow looks sad, and then Crow is just obviously feels probably super guilty by the fact that, like, he was contributing to what ultimately led to Clover's death. So, yeah, and if you see Clover's hand, too, his hand is also, like, very pale, very white. So, again, I think that's obviously indicative of the fact that he's no longer alive. Clover better use his luck to come back to life. Oh, boy. But, yeah. Yeah. Another thing, too, to consider with Ironwood is, like, he's bearing the weight of Atlas on... Ironwood is literally bearing the weight of Atlas on his shoulders, because in this image, Atlas is literally on his shoulder. I don't know if that's intentional, but, like, also, the same city you're bearing on your shoulders is slowly burning, like, just burning all around you, and you're slowly becoming more darker and, like, shady, like, the shades, like, cover him, too, and he just becomes more and more, dubious looking as that image plays out. But, again, he's bearing the weight of Atlas on his shoulders, like the legend itself. And for better or worse, clearly he's going through a lot of shit. And again, things are gonna get way worse before they get way better for him. And unfortunately, stop. Marrow deserves more friends. Marrow just deserves head pats. He's a dog, all right? Just give him his pats and give him his dog treats and tell him everything will be okay. These images were really great, too. I fucking hope Salem transforms. That, like, hyped me up so much. It's like, if she can give the Berengal wings, if she can make this giant whale fortress in the sky, if she can turn the little Seargrim into 5G towers, I better see Salem with some sexy-ass evil wings and actually flying around and fighting and cutting and slashing through people like some crazy Grim Queen. Like, that's such a sick shot, dude. I really like that. Of course, Crow and Robin locked up in prison. Obviously, they're gonna be, I assume, based on her helping him up, she's gonna keep him from being in that most likely very dark, depressive state after Clover dies, realizing no matter what, he's always going to be alone, he's always going to be bad luck, he's always going to bring misfortune to people around him, even people that have good luck and are usually supposed to be used to counteract that. I just feel like he's going to be very self-loathing and very guilty of what happened to Clover, and that in turn, it's gonna take Robin. Also, another thing to consider, when she grabs his hand, she grabs his hand the same way that she grabs Blake's hand when she asks Blake, what's Ironwood hiding at the old, in the tundra, like when she was using her semblance to get the truth out of Blake. So again, could be a reference that Robin is the key to Crow's innocence and to hopefully getting through to the general. Simultaneously, in the same shot, we see a transition of Oscar most likely having a mental struggle with Salem. I don't know if the imagery is indicating like he's being tortured and he's in her, like, obviously he's gonna get kidnapped and she's just gonna try to find ways to get him to talk, and she's got someone like Emerald who can manipulate his mind, and I don't know if Oscar can use Ozpin as like a stand-in for that. So it's like, I'm gonna torture this kid's mind, and instead Oz will be like, I'll take the brunt of that so they don't get the secrets or the answers out of you. You know what I mean? But I do think that's what I just think, like, and then you see all the Grim coming in. So Salem has ways to make you talk. And if you look in the background too, there's like hooks on the ceilings and stuff like that. I really hope we don't see Oscar getting tortured. Like, that's like, fuck the Oscar Protection Squad. We need, like, the Ozpin United Nations to save this man. I really don't know what this is implying, but clearly it just shows that he's going to be under some incredible mental anguish if Salem actually gets a hold of him and tries to get answers out of him. There's only so much he can do. He's still a kid, you know? And there's only so much Ozpin can do because he's only a kid. So there's only so much control, and, you know, he's just a 14-year-old kid. He's going to get fatigued. He's going to pass out, stuff like that. He can't have full control over him for too long. And yeah, Oscar is just... I feel like... I wonder if Oz is... I wonder how badly all of Oz's incarnations have had to go through stuff like this, you know? It's crazy because we're seeing it from Oscar's perspective, but this is probably what's eventually going to harden Oscar to fully take on the persona of, you know, of Ozma over the years, and by the time he's a grown man, you know, be able to fully be aligned with Oz, and then fully merge, and there and then, you know, be able to assume the responsibilities of everything that comes after with stopping Salem. But yeah, I think there are bad times ahead for Oscar. I really hope Salem transforms. She looks so fucking badass in that shot. Again, I think it's more of like an imagery kind of thing. It could potentially just be that, like, that's the image that Emerald is portraying onto him with her semblance. Similar to how we saw, like, the spaghetti fingers Salem in Volume 5 from Emerald as well, which was also teased in one of the intros. But yeah, I think that could potentially be something as well. Also, Bria Rose, thank you so much for becoming a channel member. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And Alex Scavo, I think that's how you say that. Ironwood has no human hands now. Robin's semblance maybe can't work on him. He's got a face. He still has, like, maybe, does she need, like, skin contact? Or does she just need, like, aura connection? You know what I mean? But yeah, I think the semblance is more connected to the souls of the two people versus actual, like, hand-to-hand touching. Because I don't know if Blake had her hands just full out too. Robin's also wearing gloves, so it's like... Well, she still has, like, her finger, so I don't know how that works. Anyways. Yeah, it's most likely aura dependent. And he's got plenty of that, I'll tell you. All right, let's see. So you guys, so I don't know. So this might be like an oldie for some of you guys who remember it, but obviously White Rose, Bumblebee, not the ships really. I just consider that when talking about Ruby, Weiss, and Blake and Yang respectively. You know what this reminds me of? This shot in particular reminds me of the Jody Steele set for like the Ruby prints and the Ruby shirts that came out a few years ago. I think around Volume 4. I think those originally came out. Does anyone remember those? Where we had like Ruby, Weiss, Blake, and Yang, and it was literally art of their weapons. And I think it's really like Blake's Gamble Shroud, how it like swings around, and that reminds me of the Jody Steele set. And that's what these two ultimately remind me of. But the weapons are cool, you know, classic. Also, it's very interesting that they chose one weapon per character because Yang no longer has like two hands for both of her Ember Celicas. Like, obviously one of them is augmented on top of her robotic arm, but realistically she only really has use for one now. Yeah, the Jody Steele set was super cool. Yeah, they were on t-shirts as well. Yep. I don't think I have the shirts. I think I have a couple of the prints. But yeah, that's what this reminded me of. I wish I had taken a picture of them just to include them in the discussion, just so you guys can actually see it. But they were so freaking cool. Actually, you know what? Just pull up another tab and just look up Jody Steele, Jodi, Jody Steele Ruby prints, and they look super cool. And they're just like art prints of the characters' weapons, and that's what this reminded me of. Where's the Volume 8 poster? I mean, it's right there with the Volume 7. I just think Rooster Teeth is done with posters, honestly. I feel like posters are more of like a... I don't want to say like Rooster Teeth is no longer like a grassroots community, but like I feel like posters are some of the most are some of like the more bare forms of merchandise for your fandom. But I feel like as a show grows and gets bigger and bigger, posters become, I guess, maybe less profitable, or less people end up buying them as the years go on. And I just never got an answer for that. I wanted to ask that question at RTX, but and I asked it during like the online one, but obviously there's only so many people that are going to get their questions approved. So yeah, to this day I don't know why. I don't know. I don't have like an actual answer for that, but I just think like for the most part I really think it just comes down to business. Also, by the way, Blake and Yang's, actually, I think really just Blake's weapon creates the shape of an 8. RWBY Volume 8 confirmed, just saying. Torch Takai, thank you so much for becoming a channel member. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's a bit of a reach. No, it's not. It literally makes an 8. That literally makes an 8. You can't tell me otherwise. Five head. $800 IQ confirmed. It doesn't look, it doesn't. Okay, after this stream is done, I'm literally going to screenshot that image and I'm going to draw out the 8 in like a snipping tool, and I'm gonna post it, and y'all are gonna actually, you know what, I'll have that prepped and ready for the next live stream discussion. I'll be like, all right, chat, before we start this, I gotta clear the air. All right, I need to set the record straight. This is a goddamn 8. RWBY Volume 8 confirmed. So yeah, you guys will see that in the next discussion. Does Arnold have an Ironwood beard? No, Ironwood has an Arnold beard. All right, don't let anyone tell you otherwise, okay? But yeah, so Jody Steele, I just want to give a quick shout out to that. It's very old school. It's like a Volume 4, Volume 5 thing. I think it's a Volume 4 thing. And super old school, and that's what it reminded me of. Iconic weapons. I'm pretty sure these are all of like the base weapons of RWBY Weiss Blake Yang before the upgrades. You know, obviously Ember Celica's there. Rest in peace, Yang's arm. I really feel like something bad is gonna happen to either Ren or Nora this volume. I think Jean is the most headstrong and confident that I've ever seen him. Right? He's managed to let go of the grief and the pain and the want for revenge of what happened to Pyrrha. I think especially because of Volume 6 of talking to the red-haired woman and, you know, coming to terms with that ultimately. But yeah, Ren and Nora are they're at odds with each other right now. Clearly, you know, I feel like it just goes a lot more just because they don't communicate that well, and a relationship's all about communication. If you don't talk about your feelings, if you don't talk about what's on your mind, you're always just going to be wondering what the other person is thinking and distancing yourself as a result. And so, obviously, leading up to the kiss in Volume 7, a lot of things were going on between them two. After the kiss, I feel like things have only gotten worse between the two of them. Tensions are high. Everyone is stressed out. No one knows what's going to happen. They're at odds. They're on opposite teams with each other too, which means I feel like they feel very you know, I don't want to say offended, but it's almost like, it's like one side is surprised that the other side isn't with them on this, you know? And I'm just wondering how deep that's going to run with both of them being on separate sides. There's no way for them to protect each other if something happens to one of them and the other one's not there. And another thing that this also reminds me of is Volume 4, when Ren and Nora split up from RWBY and Jean when they went to Kuroyuri. He said, keep each other safe, and Nora says, we always have. Well, this is the first time since then, this is the first time in a long time that Ren and Nora have not been together. I kind of want to say this is the first time they've never been together. So I think it can go either way here. Another thing, too, is just, like, Nora's expression when she turns around and, like, the snow, like, takes over. So I don't know if something's going to happen in the tundra. I don't know if her turning around is, like, something is going to happen to Ren, and that's making her worried. There's so many things, but it's like this team is so divided, right? Jean's in the middle of Ren and Nora on the top left screen, you know, unified, like, yo, I'm ready, let's do this shit. Meanwhile, the other two are just, like, so at odds. It's crazy. Yeah. So, probably the first time they're at odds, which makes it even worse. Yeah, it's just like, you don't do shit like that in this volume where you have to be more united than ever. Like, this entire volume is about distrust, it's about dividing, it's about separating, and sowing seeds of doubt in everybody, and it's even working with characters that we thought would always be with each other through thick and thin, no matter what. And I'm just worried. I'm just worried. That's all I can really say. Another thing here is the Schnee family. So again, I really, really, really like Winter's new outfit, like Winter's new getup. It's not really a new outfit. It's just that arm guard and that hair change just makes her into, like, I feel like she just went through, like, a massive, like, character development arc. She just looks super cool. And again, I think the cross between her and her sister is reflective of the conversation they had last volume of carving your own path and, you know, not necessarily going down a path that's chosen for you and just hoping for the best. And I think while Weiss is keeping her head held high and staring straight for her objective, Winter's looking down and second-guessing a lot of the things that she's been, you know, groomed to follow, which is like the military, Ironwood's leadership, becoming the Winter Maiden, and now she has to see the person that she's looked up to and has followed for so long slowly become a monster. Is Winter getting a brace on both arms? I don't know. Yeah, because isn't that the opposite arm that she, that's the opposite arm. But the other brace went all the way down to, I think, her hand. So either she is, because it kind of looks like it's like it latches onto, like, the shoulders, but it, like, keeps the, like, it latches in the center of the chest and the back. It's probably used to, like, keep her posture straightened. It's N7 armor. Well, it's more like a brace. I'm calling it an arm guard, but it's like an arm brace is what it's more like. I really hope her design isn't symmetrical. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. We also, like, and it's kind of crazy too, the whole family Schnee Like the entirety of the family Schnee line is here with the exception of the clip-on. But we got Willow and Whitley. Thankfully, it's very clear that I don't know if it's going to be a big involvement or contribution this volume, but they will still be here. Obviously, the aftermath of the last volume, Whitley now has no sisters, no father, a drunk mother, and I think she really needs to, I think Willow is now going to start realizing, okay, I need to kind of turn things around. She might actually have to defend her manor. You know what I mean? Willow can also summon. You know, she's the main Schnee line family member, you know, who's the one that has all of, like, has the bloodline that, the hereditary bloodline that all of the others, of you know, have the ability to summon and have the glyphs. I don't think Whitley trains in that, you know what I mean? He considers that kind of stuff beneath him. But Willow might actually pop off, you know what I mean? Yo, Klein could come back too because Jock went to prison. Yo, rehire this man, get Klein back. I better see Klein in this volume. He's not in the opening, which means he can be a very, like, shocking return, like a shocking, like, hype moment. Like, holy shit, Klein is back. I really hope they bring this man back to defend his family in this volume. I bet Klein is down in Mantle. I wouldn't be surprised. But they need to hire this man back. He got fired, why? Because he helped Weiss? Well, the person that fired him is now in jail, so, yo, applications are available. Come submit your resume. You aren't going to see Klein? Oh, I'm going to remember that comment if we see Klein. Klein is Pietro's secret butler in Mantle. Klein, plot twist, Klein works for Ironwood now. Oh boy. I hope not. I don't think anyone's looking for a job in this current climate. I kind of beg to differ because, like, Ironwood, Jacques was like, yo, I gotta fire everybody until after the election, until after I win, and then you guys can get your jobs back. So, I don't know if anyone's trying to work, but I'm pretty sure there are job openings. But yeah, so I'm just really excited to see the dynamic of the Schnee family. I don't think it's going to be anything like super massive like the last volume. Obviously, Jacques is still in prison, so we're going to see snippets of him at least, because I know that, you know, we saw that in the trailer. Willow's going to have a lot of, you know, stepping up to do as a mother, and if it comes down to Grimm being on her manor, she's going to have to defend it, along with hopefully the butlers. I really hope Klein comes back, especially since, again, Jacques was fired, or Jacques under arrest. So bring this man back into the family, rehire him, give this man a raise, have him, you know, whip up some crepes for Whitley, who's clearly upset that his father was arrested. But I think this is a good starting point, at least, to reestablish a relationship between mother and son. I don't know about the sisters, but, you know, clearly things are all over the place, and if anything happens to the family, it's going to be unfortunate if they leave things off where they are. Another thing, too, to consider is that we actually see the Schnee glyph representing the family, representing, you know, the honor and all that stuff of the family shattering. Don't know if that's like the mirror shattering, like Weiss, like the mirror, you know, Weiss's, you know, motif and all of that. I don't know if that's like a reference to the Schnee family, like the Schnee manor crumbling, or what, but definitely seems like something crazy is going to happen with that. Weiss said she's shattering the mirror, but kept her what in pieces? Oh, that kept her split in pieces. Oh, okay. Yeah, so I wonder if this is also, yeah, like a representation of Weiss's mirror shattering, or the family name shattering, or the Schnee family manor, or the Schnee name in Atlas as a whole, because everything is getting destroyed by Salem. So the Schnees, y'all don't mean shit to me in Atlas in volume 8. I don't know who that is. F's in the chat for Snowflake. But yeah, so a lot of things going on with the Schnee Manor. I really wish I had the patience to actually see where these pieces are on the chessboard on, like, I really would love to see, like, where Salem's pieces are, where Ironwood's pieces are, see the board, and see the potential outplays. Because that was something that somebody did in Volume 7 with the chessboard that was on Watts's desk. You know, when not Watts's desk, that was on Jacques' desk when Watts, you know, introduced himself or showed up. I wonder if that is checkmate, right? Because is Ironwood the king and Salem is the queen? So, like, she's facing off against him directly. So she has him in checkmate right now. No, she has him in check. I don't know if it's checkmate. I don't know how, like, again, I don't know where all the other pieces are right now, but yeah, like, this chess match is already over. Like, all of his pieces get demolished, all of her pieces are moving in, and it's just calculated from the start. Ironwood is the queen in that spot. Huh. In before the last chapter of this volume is called Check and Mate. I think that's a nice name for a chapter. Actually, any chapter, not the last one. I think any chapter. If it's Check and Mate, or Check for one and then Mate for the other one. No, I think that's weird. I think Check and Mate sounds like a good name for an episode. Yeah, so it seems like he's in check right now, not necessarily checkmate. But if you notice, where's Winter? Where's Penny? Where's Ciel Soleil? Been waiting to see her since Volume 3, Rooster Teeth. I'm still waiting. Where's anybody that... we all know where Councilman Sleet is, but it's interesting that all of the black pawns and pieces are representative of the Grimm, right? We're not seeing, like, Salem, or we're not seeing, like, Cinder or anybody else like that. But Ironwood only has these basic pieces, indicating, to me at least, that no one is going to be on his side by the time this is over. Or nobody substantial. You know, he's going to have fodder. He's going to have, like, Nameless Huntsman number 57, you know, go out in the line of duty. But yeah, I think this is also just a big indicator of, like, first off, you're going to be wiped clean, wiped off the board. You're going to have nothing and nobody left. And Salem is just going to completely overrun you. And that's just the name of the game. Salem has always been one step ahead. And even when she wasn't one step ahead, she at least got into your head to make you think that. So at the end of the day, that kind of works in her favor still. And that's a big part about chess in general. It's also kind of like mental, like mind games. You're always trying to, I don't know. I feel like that's why there's like just like very minimal, I don't know, there's just always something that you can do. Like a mental game still applies in the overall win. Whether that's talking smack, whether that's bluffing, whether that's, you know, having a poker face, or just showing something enough to someone that lets them misinterpret what they think the situation is and it's actually something else. So I just think strategically, Salem just knows her opponent inside and out, whereas Ironwood isn't willing to trust anyone or apply, you know, partnering with somebody to the point where, yeah, he's going to be the only one on the board, and he's going to be in check, and that, you know, he's going to be in checkmate by the end of the volume. Oh, Galinda. I miss Galinda. I wish she came back. I feel like she could just slap some sense into him. Does anyone else ship them two? I feel like they have a thing. They had a thing going on in Volume 3. I don't know. Like, that one scene where they both came out of the elevator and they were, like, fixing themselves. I wouldn't be surprised if they were just getting it on, like, on the way up or something like that. That's just me. That's just me. But if Glinda came through and was like, get a hold of yourself, Ironwood. What the fuck is wrong with you? I'm gone for a year and this is how you're acting. You know, I don't know. I feel like either Glinda or Winter can get through to this man. And since we haven't seen Glinda in like 4 volumes, and I don't think we're gonna ever see her until we go back to Vale, which is unfortunate. Yeah, I feel bad for her if once she finds out what happened to Ironwood. You know what I mean? Because she's over in Vale trying to restore it to its former glory. I don't know what the fuck that means, considering how the Grimm seemingly overran that place. Or maybe they just overran the school. But yeah, I miss Glinda. I feel like she could get through to him, but I don't know. That'd be so fucking cool. That'd be such a pop-off moment, dude. Glinda Goodwitch showing back up, versing Cinder again, and that's how their first encounter was. It was like Partial Maiden and Glinda Goodwitch facing off against each other in the first episode. Imagine she comes back in volume 8 and she actually fights off against the full Maiden. That'd be sick, dude. Okay, I'm gonna stop now because like I'm thinking of shit that's clearly not gonna happen this volume. God, that'd be awesome. Oh my god, Arnold, you had to reference that? No, I'm not a Glinda simp. Hell no. I mean, I got nothing against her, but like I just think her I think Ironwood just needs someone. I think Ironwood just needs somebody right now. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, and if we saw Glinda, she better have a new outfit. Just saying. Ironwood's big cool to be honest. It is interesting though. It is interesting though now that I think about that, because I just mentioned like Glinda went toe-to-toe with Salem, who is a partial Fall Maiden, and Glinda still had like telekinesis and shit, but she went toe-to-toe with a Maiden, and she's a, you know, a fully realized Huntress. There is a theory, right, that she is somehow tied to either a Maiden herself or the Relic of Choice, because she has the crown symbol on her back, like on her cape, and the Relic of Choice is a crown that looks very similar. Wait, did I say Cinder? I'm sorry, I meant, wait, hold on. Wait, what? Did I mix something up? Did I say something wrong? Cinder, not Salem. Yeah, it's the S. It's the Cinder, Salem. Like, I say one when I mean the other. Yeah, so Cinder, yeah, so I had a thought in my mind, saying it earlier, that Cinder and I almost said it again, oh my god. That Cinder and Glinda faced off against each other in the first episode, where Cinder was a partial Fall Maiden. Granted, Glinda is a fully realized Huntress. It's very interesting that she was able to go toe-to-toe, because even someone like Oz lost that matchup. Granted, she was fully realized by the time she fought Ozpin. But there's a theory that Glinda is either a Maiden herself, or she is somehow tied to the Relic of Choice, because the crown on her back is a crown, like the symbol on her back, like on her cape, is a crown, and that's what the Relic of Choice also is. So either she knows where it is, or like there's something going on with her as well, because she was also in Ozpin's inner circle. I just don't know if she knew, because Crow didn't know, and Ironwood didn't know. So what makes me think that Glinda knew? Unless Glinda is also, you know, maybe she's super in the know because she's almost like his assistant. She could be the spirit of the Relic of Choice. That'd be fucking nuts, dude. What? I don't know. I think we're getting into some crazy theory crafting here. I just think it's worth keeping a note on that, right? The crown and Galinda might be more connected than we know. Could honestly be why. But even then, I don't think the maidens were a concept in the first episode. So that could also be, or maybe they could have tied it in afterwards, like, you know, retroactively tied that into her because of the crown and the fact that that was a thing beforehand. So, yeah, but that's just the theory. A RWBY theory. Thanks for watching. Just kidding. We still have a bit more to get through. All right, let's see. You know what this scene reminds me of? My dad works at Nintendo and he's gonna hack you. Or my dad works at Xbox and he's gonna hack you. There's just these two hackers just like being big nerds and trying to hack each other. Meanwhile, I feel like both of them are vying for hacking options for Penny, because there are some big hacking vibes from her in the intro towards the end. But Watts is clearly getting out of prison. I'm pretty sure everyone, I don't think anyone's surprised by that. Pietro's doing as much as he can to help Team RWBY get to, you know, the military compound, you know, giving him information, having Penny go with them, even though he didn't want her to. And obviously he's going to be doing his part to try to help the best way he can technologically. Meanwhile, Watts coded all of that shit. Clearly going to be able to go back and get his revenge on Pietro for being the person that, you know, won in terms of his plans for, you know, the Penny project over his plans. And he was the one who approved the and it's kind of messed up when you think about it too, because he's mad that Pietro's Penny project got approved over his, but it seems like they still ended up using Watts's Elysian Paladins, which those were created by him. They ended up using them down the line. So long after, most likely long after he died, they like disgraced him. They were like, yo, by the way, we're yoinking your project and we're going to make it our own. Thanks, by the way. No credit, by the way. So I wonder if Watts still has more to show, like more gadgets, more gizmos, more technology, maybe his own personalized Elysian Paladin. That'd be so fucking sick if we get like a mecha fight between him and Penny, like his mecha versus her. I don't know. I just think shit like that would be super cool to just see, because I feel like there's still so much more that Watts can do. And he was such a joy. He was such a treat to watch between hacking and just being super inconspicuous with everything that he was doing. I really, really liked it. Let's see. The mirror is wrong again? Wait, what do you mean? Oh, like the Cinder mirror? I hate the Pennies getting hacked theories, but I cannot interpret these scenes another way. Yeah, Pietro's chair is also a gun. That's gonna be like elderly gamers in like another like 30, 40 years. I'm gonna be rocking that chair in another like 40, 50 years. Dude, they need to start investing in that shit. Like, gamer retirement homes. Like, people who are gamers now, I feel like they're going to be gamers for the rest of their life. So, you know, if they just need to soup up those retirement homes, dude. Add in those freaking LED flat screen 4K. By then, there's going to be, like, 27K resolution monitors. Give me, like, the PlayStation 50 or, like, the freaking RTX 5790 model, and I don't know, just give me like this decked out gaming rig and just leave me the fuck alone until I until I die. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, Simply Beta, hi, that's Penny. New season, Penny is the bestest. Oh my gosh. It's so great to have you here. I'm so happy that we get another volume with Penny. How are you? Welcome to the discussion. Great to have you here. Yeah, that's Taylor McNee. She voices Penny Polendina. She also has a very, like, relaxing, soothing YouTube channel where she, like, tends to fish and, You know, she's like a fish enthusiast with like betta fish and stuff like that. I watch her videos every so often just as like white noise. I don't know a damn thing about fish, but they're just really entertaining to watch. And you sound like Penny too, so I really want someone to do like a voiceover of one of your videos where it's Penny tending to the fish. Yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it very, very much. I'm really excited and terrified to see how things go this volume. But yeah, that's really awesome. Glad to have you back. But yeah, so the two guys are hacking each other, so that can go however many ways. And then we also have, hey, speak of the devil. We got Penny here, and it shows, like, obviously she's being conflicted. You know, cracked mirror, like cracked realizations of, on one side, she wants to, you know, follow her own path and do what she feels right. I'll be honest with you guys, I feel like Penny is going to do something that she shouldn't do, but she's guilted into doing based on everything that's happening, right? She even says, oh, what if I just go and bring the relic to Salem? And, you know, maybe then she'll call off her attack. And then again, when Ironwood calls and he guilt trips Ruby and he says, if she gets past our forces, everything that happens after is on you. So I honestly feel like based on that amount of guilt and that amount of pressure, I feel like Penny would be like, okay, I gotta do this. Like, I'm sorry, I have to do this. Like, this is her way of trying to see if what she's doing is right. You know, because everybody is trying to figure out their own way of contributing and their own way of feeling like what I'm doing is right. So I feel like Penny might do something drastic in that way, and that could also have terrible implications for what happens in the fallout of everything, you know, because it's very, like, she's clearly new to all of this. You know, this is like some next level, like, heavy shit that's coming down on Mantle and on Atlas and on everybody, and she's supposed to be the protector. She's supposed to be the one saving people, and by her not doing things, it probably is hurting her or guilting her a lot to know that a lot of things that are happening, she could potentially be helping to prevent. And if you have Ironwood, who's also, like, gaslighting her in that way too, being like, the Penny, you know, no, Penny, I'll go and pick you up. The people need you. Salem's here. Everything else doesn't matter. We need to go. We need to get out of here. You know, clearly someone like Ruby feels like that's not what's best. That's not in her best interest, especially because she's also a maiden. I don't think Ironwood knows that just yet. I don't think he knows that just yet, or if Winter told him or whatever. But yeah, like that given how Ironwood is now, that's definitely not the right call. So, oh my God. Like Volume 3 was really tough. Like, Volume 3 was rough, man. And I feel, I don't know. I can't even think of, like, I can't even, like, perceive the future. I don't see myself on the other side of, like, I can't picture myself on the other side of what would happen if like, everybody just gets obliterated. Penny, Ren, Nora, Maria, Pietro. God damn it. Anyways, I don't want to think on that too much. So, in more terrifying news, remember that maple leaf that blows in the wind during Volume 6, where Jean is sitting outside of the Argus Memorial where Pyrrha's statue is? Very strong vibes that I see a lotus petal, which represents who has a lotus symbol in this show? Oh yeah, Ren. And who has a lotus petal flying away, and who can't catch that lotus flower? Nora. Yeah, I think Ren might be on the chopping block this volume. And really sucks because like him and Nora are already on bad terms. Not bad terms, but difficult terms. And I think the Juniper death, if Ren dies this volume, I'm convinced that the Juniper death theory is gonna come true. And there's just I can't see it any other way. I can't see it any other way. But yeah. I don't mean to scare you guys either. I just really think that I just really think a lot of this stuff is deliberate. Penny getting hacked, Ren and Nora being at odds, the lotus flower symbolism similar to Pyrrha becoming the fall maiden and the fall leaf, you know, representing her. Yeah. Unless things turn around, I just really don't know how that's going to play out right now. And Ren and Nora are not together for the first time in ever, I think. Since they've met each other, I think they've always been together. And it's just a matter of, like, if something happens to one of them and the other one's not there to help out, or if everyone's scattered, or if everyone gets bodied, you know. Where's Yang? Where's Oscar? You know, if Oscar is getting kidnapped and everyone else has to go and get him, so that's only 3 people. And then if you're going to Salem's place to get him, that's just a red flag. I don't know. That could be 1,000,001 different scenarios. Killed by the Grimm, killed by Salem, killed by Tyrion, Hazel, who knows? They were separated briefly at the initiation. I mean, I don't really mean it that way. But yeah, there's a lot of death flags. And again, I need to stress that the finale of Volume 7 is going to be on February 13th, 2020, which is the 4-year anniversary of Volume 3's finale in 2016, where Pyrrha died. So if they're on to this, like, yo, every 4 years, we're going to kill off one of the Juniper members. We got the death flags for Ren in the intro. We have the tension for them too, and you know, from last volume to this one. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just not the biggest fan. And again, so first off, I really love the color contrast of this shot. Right, the deep red for Salem, like the white. Not the white, the deep red for Salem, the blue skies, the deep blue and purple gravity crystals for AMITI Coliseum. I just really like, overall, this shot is just really great. What I don't like is that Penny flies into the air and turns against Team RWBY and Juniper. It's like, why is she facing them? Unless she gets hacked and has to fight them, along with, you know, Team Yang fighting off the Grimm and Mantle, Team RWBY fighting off, you know, the Grimm for, you know, Salem and trying to get to AMITI. Meanwhile, no. Penny is not taking the charge. Penny is flying up in the air and turning and looking at Team RWBY and company. If she was taking the charge, she would just fly and look straight. Why would you fly up and your back is against the fucking Grimm? Are you kidding me? No. That makes it seem like she's fighting alongside the Grimm now. Also, yeah, that's a giant freaking... That's a big Ursa! Russell Thrush, my boy! That's a Volume 1 reference right there for anyone who remembers that. But yeah, like... You got, I do, the one thing that I do like about another thing that I like about the shot is that, like, both teams are, like, split. Like, you have Team Yang's group who's, like, facing off against the Grimm. Like, they're angled towards looking at the Grimm because their objective is to protect Mantle. You have Team RWBY, like, RWBY's team, like, slightly off, like, going after like Salem, and you know, like their goal is Salem and by proxy Amity Coliseum. So I at least like that they positioned everyone properly based on their objectives. But you got Atlas, you got Mantle, you got the Coliseum, you got Salem. You got 4 objectives, and you got 9 people that got to deal with this, and one of them might be compromised to fight you. So I'm just very nervous. Back there, it's got Cardin. Oh my god, I miss Volume. I love Volume 1 so much, man. I love Volume 1 so much. It's such a nostalgia trip. I love it. But yeah, this scene, really great. A lot of things are going to be going on. A lot of objectives need to be hit. Again, super sus that Penny decides to fly off into the middle. Again, that might be against her will. Why would you turn your back on the enemy unless they're no longer the enemy? You know? So yeah. Again, really happy that at least for this moment, you know, RWBY and Yang had a bit of, but they were butting heads a bit in the intro. They were butting heads a bit in the first episode, based on their different viewpoints for what they feel they should be focusing on. The people of Mantle, or you know, the Amity Coliseum. It seems like for this shot, they're all good. By the end of it, they decided, hey, maybe they both achieved their goals. You know, meanwhile, we gotta wait for help. Let's fight off until help gets here. And they're all doing their best to fight it out and to do the best that they can. Oh yeah, by the way, some roses. Yeah, I can't do it. I can't do it. All right, Casey, you win. Damn it. It's the one song that I feel absolutely defeated in attempting to sing. A lot of people are not going to be happy with my singing this volume, I'll tell you that. But yeah, there's a lot of things to break down in this. I do like the slow pan shot of Cinder walking, and you just see like everyone just frozen in time. And that's very interesting, because one of the only times that we ever see that is when Jin is being summoned. So it's very possible that Cinder might get the last question. Cinder might summon Jin somehow. I don't know how she figures it out. I don't know if she's eavesdropping. I don't know if she seizes her opportunity and is like, fuck it, I'm going to ask the question behind Salem's back. I don't know what it might be, but everything freezes. You know, everything gets a little dark. Neo and Emerald aren't frozen, so they might be present with Cinder when she asks the question, if that is the case. But then we immediately see what looks to be Cinder catching, you know, burning on fire. I don't know if she, like, pisses off. I don't know if it's the Grim arm. I don't know if it's the influence of that Grim bug or the Grim in general that's trying to, like, take over and stuff like that. Or if she just screws up to the point where Salem is like, all right, you're done. Just snaps her finger and just sets her on fire. She's like, I don't need her. I have everybody else. And then you see Hazel, Tyrion, and even Mercury. Obviously, Mercury is relished. He's loved the fact that he's chilling around with the bad boys and girls, and he feels right at home here, whereas Emerald just wants to stick around for Cinder. And I feel like she's going to find out very quickly that, yeah, Cinder doesn't care about you. She doesn't care about anything. She cares about power. That's kind of all she cares about. And she might burn for it, you know? You remember the song Divide, you know? I'll watch you burn. She wasn't talking about Ozpin. She was talking about Cinder, because Cinder's actually burning up right now. Also, it's really quick and it's hard to see from this shot here, but Hazel doesn't necessarily look too happy. I don't know if Hazel will get any development, or if we'll learn more about what happened to, like, his sister or whatever. I know that the RWBY, back when we got his development stuff, you know, back when we got his, like, brief backstory in Volume 5, they said there's still more to tell with Hazel. So I feel like the story for him, or his backstory in general, isn't done yet. Yeah, he looks solemn, if anything. Like, he's just like, okay, let's, I guess I'm on board. Let's do this. He doesn't seem like happy to be there. He hasn't got like a shit-eating grin on his face like Tyrion or Mercury do. So yeah, it seems like he's just there to get the job done. Meanwhile, Cinder is kind of like losing her shit slowly but surely. Maybe Emerald is asking about Cinder's past. I don't think so. That'd be a waste of a question, in my opinion. But yeah, I just wonder what this means for Cinder. I do think it could potentially be the Grimm taking over if she starts losing control or whatever the case might be. Or maybe if she ends up getting the Winter Maiden powers, if that's like influencing her to where she can't control all that power. Because a lot of people didn't think you could harness more than one Maiden power. But then when she tried to go for Raven in volume 5, it was kind of implied like, okay, if she's trying to get this power, that means she can have that more than one person can have it. It might just be her because it might be the Grimm that siphons the power, but I think under normal circumstances, I don't think more than one person can have the power themselves. Yeah, she's breaking the rules, exactly. Yep. Does anyone even know that Raven is the Spring Maiden? I think Crow has his suspicions. Yang obviously knows. Ozpin might know. I don't know how, but maybe he might know. But other than that, I'm not sure. They have to assume one of two things, though. They have to assume, right? So here's the immediate assumption. They have to assume that either Raven or Cinder is the Spring Maiden. Why? Because the one thing, Yang said that when she went down there, the relic was gone and Vernal was dead. So if Vernal was dead and she was supposed to, and everyone else thought that she was the Spring Maiden, but she died, everyone would have to assume that Raven now is the Spring Maiden because the person that's in their thoughts last gets the power. So why would Cinder get the power if Raven is there too? You know what I mean? So even if Yang didn't say it explicitly, they have to at least assume that Raven is the Spring Maiden. Otherwise, they're going to assume Cinder is. And if Cinder's not showing the power, then clearly she doesn't have it. I mean, it doesn't matter in the sake of, it doesn't matter if they know that she's the maiden in the sense of the relic, because the relic's out of the vault, but that's still a huge advantage to have a maiden on your side, like in terms of like power, just raw power. It's always good to have a maiden on your side when you're in a war. You want the maidens on your side. It just paints a target on their back, and once Raven gets out of her depression or whatever, or gets out of being scared and actually like goes and tries to help her daughter and help Ty and help Crow and Ozpin try to stop Salem, because there is a chance, there's always a chance, then maybe things will change. I mean, she's scared of Salem, but the difference is she's admitting it. She's willing to admit it. Ironwood isn't. And so, you know, things happen. All right, let's see. What else do we got here? So this shot here, these two shots are very interesting, and I think I'm interpreting it very differently than most people. So first things first, the two relics have two different shades of blue. The Relic of Knowledge is a lighter shade than the Staff of Creation. The Staff of Creation is actually like a darker blue, which tells me that there are two different spirits in this relic, both created by the God of Light. I don't know if that means that the Sword of Destruction and the Crown of Choice were created by the God of Darkness. I don't know if it's like a 50-50 split, because the God of Light presented Ozma with the 4 relics in that flashback, and it was just him that presented it. So I don't know if the God of Light just made them, and he's like, I don't know, my brother went wherever the hell, use these relics and we'll both be forced back here. We'll both be force summoned back. So I wouldn't be surprised if it would be cool if both brothers had their input on, you know, 2 and 2, but I wouldn't be surprised if the God of Light made all 4 with this little caveat to Ozma. So it does seem like there are 2 different beings. You see the cloud of smoke, similar to like the cloud of smoke that was you know, in the opening of Volume 6, which was, you know, the smoke of Jin telling the story of what Ozpin was hiding from Team RWBY and company. So the fact that there is dark smoke leads me to believe that there might be another being in the relic. Maybe it's a reference to Atlas, you know, the god that held the world on his shoulders, just like how Jin is a genie in the lamp. I'm just going with the Atlas thing because, again, Atlas is being held in the sky. That's the current objective of the staff and whatever being is within it. So I just think that would be super cool. The thing is, though, the 2 relics look to be combining their powers, right? The smoke, like DNA Digivolve, like the 2 smokes like intertwine, and then the bottom image happens where RWBY opens her eyes and then a destroyed Atlas becomes a fine Atlas. So I wonder if combining the relic's powers produces like a certain result. I don't know what it could be. Okay, I'm just gonna tell you guys what I'm thinking here. I wonder if by using the staff and the lamp, they could be like, okay, we want Atlas to be fine, but they have to pay a price for it. And it seems like they just rewrote Atlas. Like it was red and then like glitches and then it's rewritten and it's fine. Because immediately after that, Team RWBY falls into the hole, and that is the price. It's like, okay, we can do this, but there's a price to pay to do that. I don't know. We're getting too deep. I don't know. That's just how I'm looking at it. It just seems like Atlas is being fixed here, but then because of that, Team RWBY falls into the abyss. And what's up with this? Actually, you know, I'm gonna put this full screen because like I really need to emphasize this. We already saw the relics, okay? Like what's this glitching effect right here? Like the glitching effect is what's really bothering me because it's all destroyed and then it's fixed. I don't think it's that literal. That's fine, I do. I don't know. And then on top of that, we have the relics. Hold on, give me a second. And again, these 2 relics they look like they're combining. Why are they combining? And then why does this happen? I just feel like something's going on and I don't know what it is. It's just that glitch effect that the things change back. That's what's really bothering me. I don't know about time travel. That'd be kind of insane. The staff of creation. What is creation? What are you gonna create? Are you gonna create a new timeline where Atlas actually doesn't get destroyed, but it's a timeline where Team RWBY doesn't exist and they just disappear into the nothingness? I don't know. What is creation? What are you creating? You know, and I don't know how the lamp is really going to help much because you just ask a question. It's like you just get a question and then that's it. It's all a simulation. I don't know. But yeah, that's my interpretation of that. From my perspective, the relics are harnessed and somehow, some way, Atlas gets fixed. But because it gets fixed, Team RWBY has a price to pay. I don't know if it's that clear. I don't know if I'm overlooking it. It's probably, you know what this is? This is probably the equivalent of everybody who looked at that picture in the bar and was like, oh my god, that's like super secret backstory for Cinder or Robin or whatever, when it was just a picture of the owners of the bar. That's the equivalent. Now I'm like 5-heading it right now. And now I'm just kind of taking it to the next level. But yeah, this was so, like, this part right here, Like, and the lyrics that go with it too is so good, dude. Like, they all just fall. And I've heard theories that people are saying that this kind of reminds people of like the Fountain of Life. But the Fountain of Life, that's in Mistral, no? Because they did say that the God of Darkness, his realm was on the Dragon Continent, and the God of Light's realm was in Mistral. That's why the dragons emulate that's why like the continents look like dragons, because one is the evil dragon, the dark dragon, and one's the light dragon. It looks exactly like the Pool of Life, but it's just like the setting is wrong. Like the Pool of Life isn't an atlas, so I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm on board with that. Also, if it's the Pool of Life, that's cool and all, but like, are you really gonna give these 4 girls immortality? You know? Another thing that's interesting is this bottom shot here. RWBY is trying to reach out to the relic of creation, and the Grimm are also reaching for the relic of creation. Why are the Grimm reaching for the relic of creation? Are they gonna, like, I wonder if Salem can create new Grimm with the Staff of Creation. Like, you know how she was saying in Volume 6 to Ozma, she was like, what's the point of redeeming these humans when we can replace them with what they could never be? You know, and I think she just meant, like, we can replace them with other magic users if we repopulate the world with just magic users. Imagine she, like, creates, like, new Grimm, like Grimm's, like, all of these hands kind of look like the apathy, or like the, I just think it's a representation of the Grimm. I don't think the apathy themselves are coming back. You know, because it's like, how the fuck are they gonna get up to Atlas? They move so slowly on top of that. I really want humanoid Grimm. I really want human Grimm. Not human Grimm, but like Grimm that look and act and react like humans. I've wanted that since like Volume 2. Imagine Salem just creates like a new Grimm hybrid. And that's what the staff, and that's why the Grimm are going up. They're like, yo, we're about to ascend, boys. Let's do this. Also, RWBY, you failed. Let's drag you down into the darkness. Ah, man. I really hope that that's the case. Also, again, them falling, not a good indicator for things to happen. And then, of course, they got the little, I think this is the new Grimm, the Bloodhound one that they were gonna sick on Oscar. I think that's what they were going for it. But yeah, this last shot here, if this doesn't tell you that we ain't winning shit, the villains are winning, the heroes are losing, I don't know what else to tell you. Happy ever after, more like happy never again. And yeah, if you didn't notice this little shot here, yeah, that's a normal Penny turning red and her eyes turning red. And red is the symbol of hacking, the same way that the Elysian forces got hacked in Volume 3, aka Watts is gonna hack Penny and turn her against everybody. Yeah, well, like, first the iris changes, and then the whole unit changes. So when the iris is changing, I feel like that's like Penny still has control, but she feels herself slipping. But now it's like Penny is now in like assault mode. Black Queen Virus 2.0, ladies and gentlemen. This is why Penny was brought back, so they can twist the knife and salt the wound even more when they have to dismantle her, and I'm not a fan. I'm very, very sad if I don't know what I'll be like if this happens. I really don't. Like, I feel like I've gotten a greater sense of Penny's character. And I mean this from an emotional standpoint. I don't mean it like, oh, I hate this decision. Why are they doing? I mean, like, I think, I don't know, man. That really hurt when Penny died. I loved Penny. Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3. And then they brought her back, and I've loved her even harder, even more than I ever thought with Volumes 1 and 2 and 3. And I just don't know what I'm going to be like after this volume. I'm kind of nervous, not going to lie. And so yeah, with everything else that's going to be happening and going on, Another thing, too, to consider, Team RWBY fell into that hole, and the only thing that dropped were their weapons, not them. So, like, what the fuck happened to Team RWBY? Did they really get wiped off of the face of existence? Did they rewrite the future and just, like, we don't exist anymore? And, yeah, Crescent Rose is solo dolo, so I don't know if everyone's gonna get separated. I don't know what the fuck is gonna happen. I genuinely I couldn't tell you. I could not tell you for a second what this volume is going to entail, how these next 13 chapters, in these next 13 chapters, how they're going to unfold. I just know that there's a lot of bad implications that people are going to die, people are going to get hacked, Grimm are going to run rampant, Ironwood's going to go off the deep end more than once, you know? Team RWBY's going to lose, Salem's going to win. And it's going to be way worse. I honestly think this is going to make the fall of Beacon look like a walk in the park, honestly. I think the fall of Beacon is just going to be like nothing compared to what's going to happen here. And I think without a doubt, Atlas is going to fall onto Mantle. Like extinction level, an extinction level event. Like this giant mass is just going to collapse onto Remnant, and thousands of people are just going to be dead. But yeah, so those are all the good vibes that this intro gave me. Last but certainly not least, shout out to the concept art, as always. I really like these. I love how it's incredible how they convert from concept to animation. It's super cool. Salem's Domain, the slums of Mistral, the bar, and the medical room where Winter was. Shout out to concept, always love it. But yeah, that's everything. That is volume 1. I'm sorry, that is chapter 1 of volume 8. That is chapter 1 of volume 8 and the intro wrapped up. Not a lot of good vibes, ladies and gentlemen. However, I do appreciate you guys tuning in and hanging out for this part 2. Curses to my internet, curses to Comcast, but we made it through. Another 2.5 hours, which means in total, my live stream discussion was probably going to be about 5 hours long. Thank God I'm doing a condensed version. The condensed version might actually be a little over an hour at this point. For everything that I'm obviously going to make 2 separate videos, one for the first chapter and one for the intro. In this episode, this version was primarily talking about the intro, so I think for the most part we'll be good. Those videos will also most likely be out by the time, like on Monday, Tuesday, I think is when I'll post those, so they'll follow my reactions to the corresponding episode. Obviously, first members will be focusing on the second chapter. You know, that's out a week early, but for non-first members, they'll be able to watch my reaction and then get my thoughts on the review week to week, along with Rooster Teeth's free upload. Oh, man. I'm scared for this volume, dude. Like, even Volume 3's intro wasn't this bad. Like, Volume 3's intro, the most that I think people could take away from it was just, like, the super edgy music, the Grimm overrunning the place, and Pyrrha being the first one to break apart from the team. I feel like you can literally piece together, like, certain things that are definitively going to happen this volume. With Ren and Nora particularly. Something's going to happen with Cinder. Something's going to happen with Atlas if the relic is relevant, right? The relic of creation is relevant. And notice too, like how in volume 7, the relic was shown, but it was shown like in the dark and it was just shown after the fact. After, you know, with, you know, the credit to Monty as the creator. And now the relic is just like out in the open. Clearly that shit's coming out of the vault. Clearly it's going to be used for something else. And clearly it's like Atlas is going to fall out of the sky. Unless they can rewrite time or whatever, or that scene that I saw was them like rewriting something or creating something that didn't exist before. Whether it's a timeline thing or whatever. I don't know. But yeah. Lot of stuff. A lot of stuff is going to be happening. They also said that volume 9 is going to be shorter than volume 8. So I don't really know what that means in terms of runtime or episodes, or maybe it's just going to be a travel volume, like volume kind of like volume 6 and volume 4 were, like between kingdoms. But yeah, there's so many implications, and I'm very, very, very worried for what's gonna happen. But with that said, I really appreciate you guys tuning in and hanging out with me for this discussion. I really hope the condensed version is well thought out and well put together and well structured for people who want to hear my thoughts and you know, not spend 5 hours getting to it in a live stream format. We are going to do, so before we leave, ladies and gentlemen, we have season 2 of the opinionated pointless polls making a return. Don't think I forgot. I did not. I'm surprised a lot of you guys mentioned it in the chat. Remember poll time? Also, I'm going to take you guys off of slow chat. So for those who don't know, people bitch about a lot of things on the internet that are really pointless, right? And one day I was like, that's kind of funny. It's kind of annoying how people just complain about things that they like, but other people don't like the things that they like. I think this version isn't going to be as opinionated because it's very, very vanilla. But, and I'll post it on Twitter after this poll is done. So I'll post it on Twitter. Actually, you know what? I'm going to post it on, yeah, I'll post it afterwards just because I'm not prepared right now. But for the first season, given the week that we're in right now, new consoles are out. The Xbox Series X, the PlayStation 5, the new RTX graphics card just came out a couple weeks ago. So it's going to be gamer-centric. And it's essentially going to be, what's your preferred console? Sony, like PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, PC Mobile. And that's kind of it. Very short, very sweet, very to the point. You guys can let me know in the chat, of course. I will have that up immediately after this is done. So if you guys are following me on Twitter, or if you guys check out the community tab, you guys can voice your opinions. Next week, I'll make sure to have it ready to go so I can put the link in the chat for you guys. But yeah, what do you guys prefer? And it's all about preference. It's not about which is the best. I'm not asking which one you think is the best. Which one do you prefer, right? How do you prefer to game? PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, PC Master Race, or mobile gamer? Nowadays I lean more towards PlayStation and PC. Had you asked me 2 generations ago, 360, all about Xbox. I don't play games on my phone. I don't enjoy doing anything on my phone but communicating with people. That's honestly just me. I should put a 5th option, going outside. I don't know if I can put more than 5 options, but yeah, that is clearly not one of them. Gamers don't go outside. What are you talking about, dude? No, I'm just kidding. Oh my God. I went through 2 bottles of water and I really have to go to the bathroom. So this was like a perfect point to stop the stream, or to wrap up the stream rather. Because I usually have a couple bathroom breaks at this point, but I'm just holding it in. But yeah, that's everything, guys. Thank you all so very much for the support. Again, I know it's not my fault, but I apologize. If anyone especially is watching the VOD after the fact, if you were here during the live stream yesterday and you couldn't be here today because, you know, you were here yesterday, you were down to go through all of that yesterday, and now you know, if something came up today, you weren't able to. That's my internet provider's fault. Blame them on Twitter. But yeah, I appreciate it. We had about 700 concurrent viewers throughout the entire night. Really appreciate that a lot. We had 1,300 yesterday, which is absolutely insane for the initial premiere of the volume. And I just really appreciate you guys. I really appreciate the fact that you guys are always looking forward to hearing my thoughts on RWBY. You guys are excited for my reactions and the return of my live stream discussions. You guys are very supportive of the idea of me doing highlights for people who don't have time to watch these live streams for 5 hours, mind you. If my stream didn't mess up, we would have gone for 5 hours yesterday, based on the time of this. Chapter 2 comes out tomorrow for first members, and my reaction for Chapter 1 will be uploaded to YouTube tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern, so 1 after 1 hour after the first episode 2 goes live. And that's so people who are like early birds who watch it as soon as it airs can watch the episode before my reaction comes out. So that's staying the exact same for the whole volume. My live streams will be, if uninterrupted, they will be every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I actually might move that up to 5 p.m. I really don't think the live streams will be that long, like 5 hours moving forward, because technically this stream, it's 4.5 hours, but most of it was the intro, and we only do the intro once out here. So moving forward, it's just going to be episode discussions. So I'll do 6 p.m. again tomorrow. I'm sorry, next week. And if I notice that they're longer, then I might start an hour earlier to make up for that. But yeah, thank you guys all so much for tuning in. I really, really appreciate the support. I really appreciate everybody who came through, who left super chats and donations, and who were really active in chat and were chatting with each other, leaving your reactions. It's really, really great to be back, and we're going to be doing this week in and week out for the next 13, 14 weeks. And hopefully we all make it through this volume together. I am going to attempt and start the editing process for the highlighted version of both Chapter 1 and the intro, if you guys are interested in checking that out. Because the episode 2 comes out tomorrow, I'll probably have those out maybe Monday night, Tuesday morning, if that, and try to... I just need to focus on this week because I decided that was going to be my option last night. So now I just have to like play a little bit of catch up. So RWBY might be pushed back a little bit because of that as well, but hopefully it's all good in terms of my upload schedule after next week. And we don't have to worry about the intro, so it's just going to be episodes and smooth sailing and speculating and theorizing and all that stuff. Can you do the streams on Friday? I can't. The reason I'm doing them on Thursday is because I can't do them on Friday. Like, I need that extra day to focus on editing Red versus Blue, and if I'm doing these highlights, I need I need that space in that day, because if I do my live streams on Friday, then Saturday is the reaction and my Discord discussion, and when I have to start clipping screenshots and clips for the next live stream, and I also have to focus on making sure my RWBY videos are up to date. So I just really need that extra time. I know last year the live streams were on Friday, but that was because my schedule was all over the place last year. Typically, they've always been on Thursday, and if you can't make it to the Thursday ones, I do apologize. The VODs are always uploaded on Friday. The highlights will also be uploaded shortly after that, so you can even watch a more condensed version. But I really do have to stick to a Thursday schedule just for my availability. So I am sorry to some of the people that were used to that last volume, but yeah, that's unfortunately how it's going to have to be moving forward. And it's mainly again for the European viewers. Can you live stream Genshin Impact? I haven't streamed in like a couple weeks. I actually have been streaming Genshin on, that's the last stream I did on Twitch. But yeah, well, here's the thing. All right, not a flex, by the way. But look what came in the mail right before I started my live stream. So, don't know if I'm going to be playing Genshin Impact anytime soon. Because I'm playing that on PC, but I also got Miles Morales. So I need to find out when I'm actually going to have time to play this, to be honest. I actually don't know when I'm going to be able to play this, because I have so much fucking work to do. So yeah. That's another reason why. Also, by the way, the opinionated pointless polls was not provided by Sony in any way. I paid my own money for this, by the way. So that did not influence my choice for a gamer-centric polls this week at all. Even though it might seem like it. It's like, oh, you're a PlayStation guy. Yeah, I see why. But yeah, no hashtag ad. Hashtag I spent my own money on that game. Anyways, that's going to do it for me. Thank you guys all so much for tuning in. I really, really appreciate it. Hopefully you guys enjoy the rest of the week. My reaction comes out tomorrow afternoon, and hopefully you guys all enjoy Chapter 2. Hopefully it's not... Hopefully we just make it through, god damn it. Like, that's all I really care about, but that's all I have to say. I think I'm going to go. I really have to go to the bathroom, so... Again, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for the support. I hope you guys look forward to the reactions and the discussions and the highlights that are going to be coming out over the next couple of months. Ship posts as well when they are appropriate, and everything else in between. But yeah, that's going to do it for me. I will see you guys next Thursday for the live stream discussion of Chapter 2. And yeah, I think that's everything. Thank you guys all so much. Enjoy the rest of your night. Have a good weekend. Stay safe, and I will talk to you guys later. Take care.